What's up, everybody, and welcome to the next episode of oh fucking I said Grand Pitch though, so it's alright. Of Pod on the Time. I am your host as always, Dan Hewitt, and I am joined by
Brett.
Oh, flying solo.
You took me back there because I usually just say hello.
Yeah, I lost my way. Well, I lost my way the minute I realised I'm going to say the wrong title, and then I just was like, I'll be goddamned if I re-record this.
Good start, man.
Yeah, and there's no Dave. I think it's European football, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it'll be off somewhere.
I haven't got anything prepared in which to like take the mick out in this time either. I didn't really think about it.
You'll probably be in Gay Paris.
Yeah. Why not?
Holla, City of Swallow.
City of Love. City of Swallow.
And love is very important for this week.
It is the lovely love special.
I'm trying to have a cup of tea if you don't.
It's the worst opportunity.
You have to vamp.
I'm doing an intro.
When you see me pick up a cup of tea, you have to talk. You can't just be like, I'll just let them hear the suckling of the cup.
We can't, that wasn't an agreement that we'd made before. I can't just assume these things.
Fair enough. Well, I'll start because I haven't been up to much. Since we last spoke, I started playing God of War. I finished God of War, and I was thoroughly enjoyed all of it, and then was bitterly disappointed when it finished.
Oh yeah. Why? Just because it was so good and you kind of wanted to carry on playing it?
Because it deals with it makes allusions to other levels that you can't go to, which I'm guessing they're saving for the sequel.
Ah, right, okay.
But then it's there's no replay value afterwards other than going back through and just trying to find all the collectibles. It's okay, well that's fine.
Right.
There's two there's two additional endings, extra post credit scenes or whatever, and I got both of them, and then it was well that's it, I'm done now.
Okay.
It's well, unless I go around and try and get all the trophies by killing a certain amount of enemies a certain way and stuff like that, or there was just nothing left to do.
That sounds like one of those kind of thankless tasks though.
Yeah,
something that you've got to feel really empty afterwards, that you just I did that for no reason really.
It was just there was it feels like there's absolutely no replayability, even though there's a new game plus and all that stuff. It was same with Spider-Man. The minute I finished Spider-Man, I was oh, I guess that's me done then.
Really?
Except in Spider-Man, I was able to collect all the collectibles as I played the game.
Yeah.
So I was able to 100% it.
So you wouldn't have to go back through it.
Yeah. Whereas this one was oh, try and remember where you left that little collectible. Yeah. And you're no, I'm not going to do that. God of War, goodbye.
See, I thought it would be hard to do that with God of War as well, because I didn't realise that it was a sandpit, an open world game. I thought it was. Yeah,
that's the thing, and you do eventually open up the ability to kind of fast travel and bits and pieces like that. But there's just other than going to the map and being oh, in this giant area you've missed a chest. You're no, I don't care if I missed that chest. Goodbye.
What's it? Is that
I've already beat the game, so why do I need more chests to get more health?
Is the chest really going to enrich my life in any kind of way?
There's nothing. I've done everything I can without getting all the chests. So why am I going back to get all the chests?
I mean, I don't suppose you actually know this, but would there be any kind of cutscene or anything at the end if you collected these things? Even
I double checked, and the two extra bits that I got at the end are the only two extra bits.
The only two things.
Effectively, you need there's an additional boss fight, so you need to get as powerful as you can, or you can't really beat that boss even on easy. But I got enough of all of the main ingredients that I needed to become powerful. I got enough of the stuff to upgrade me. When Dave was saying that he did loads of side quests and upgraded all his armor and was almost too strong, that's what I did.
Yeah.
But I thought that's what you're supposed to do.
Well, I mean, that would make sense. You put the work in to get the benefits, and
you have to kill, for argument's sake, 100 people to open this one chest, and then I ended up killing maybe several thousand to open multiple different chests and get all of the stuff inside, and then upgraded all my armor. And it's well, if I'm not supposed to do that, then I don't understand what we're doing here.
Yeah, well. And
then I had no idea I was fighting the final boss until I started seeing the ending, and I was you've got to be kidding me.
These PlayStation exclusives aren't looking so good anymore.
Can you name an Xbox exclusive?
I can, yes.
That's out.
Thank you for asking.
That's good.
Thanks for asking.
Can you name one that's good?
I certainly can.
Let's hear it. So coming up next, we have.
I didn't really know what I have to put the effort to do that. It shouldn't be that hard.
Well, it is.
All I can think of is Forza and
oh yeah, Forza. You know, if you like looking at cars but not racing them, Forza's the game for you.
Crackdown is coming out this month. That's an Xbox exclusive,
is it?
I'm pretty sure it is. It's coming. It's going straight on the Game Pass, and that's usually just.
It'll probably be one. It might be like a Tomb Raider. Don't they release Tomb Raider like 1 or 2 months before on Xbox?
Possibly, yeah.
But also I watched. Now this comes with quite a humorous story. And by humorous I mean boring.
Okay.
I watched all 3 of the Lord of the Rings trilogy because I was playing God of War and I was like, oh, I fancy watching some, not swords and sandals, but like medieval-y stuff. So I watched all 3 of the Lord of the Rings and I was like, oh, I thoroughly enjoyed them. And I was like, is this the best trilogy? Well, it's definitely up there.
Right.
It's one of the few trilogies where it's like, you know, like Godfather has like that one, like it's not bad, but it's like mediocre one.
Compared to the 2, it's pretty bad. Yeah.
Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and then The Dark Knight Rises. You know, and a lot of people would say like Back to the Future 2, a little bit worse, and then I know like people really hate Back to the Future 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I don't mind it because it's a western.
I
feel like if you like westerns, you're gonna get everything you want from Back to the Future 3. But if you don't like westerns, you're totally screwed.
I like Part 2 just as much as I like Part 1, if I'm honest.
I think a lot of people enjoy Part 2 more.
Yeah.
I think they like the whole like
the future thing rather than
the fake future. It's like that's like now we laugh at it and be like, how could you think that would be the way it would be
exactly.
like?
What was it 2 or 3 years ago when it actually came about?
Yeah, wasn't it like 2016 May 15th? No, was it 25th of May 2015? So they would make.
Oh, was it right?
I think so. I might be wrong about that. Yeah. So I was watching all 3 of them, and then I was like, oh, I fancy watching The Hobbit because I'd never watched The Hobbits before because I'd always said, listen, they're not going to be anywhere near as good as Lord of the Rings. I was like, but I'll give them a watch. Well, Netflix has just got rid of all 3 of them.
Next one.
So I was like, God damn it, I'm gonna have to go and buy them. They're like £1 each in like CEX, and I was like, right, okay, I'll go. And then Netflix are like, hey, new release today, The Hobbit 1. I was like, oh, okay, done deal. I'm gonna go to work, and when I get back from work, I'm gonna watch The Hobbit. Started watching it, and I woke up at 1 hour and 29 minutes.
Right.
I was like, what the? I went back through, and I was like, I haven't seen any of this. Minute 16 is as far as I got.
Fantastic.
I start watching it again.
And this is fresh from you watching Lord of the Rings as well.
I watched all the Lord of the Rings. I'd been to work. It was 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I just had a sandwich. I was like, I'll watch this. That'll be 3 hours, and then the footy's on, laughing.
Yeah.
So I put it on again. 16 minutes in. Next thing I know, I'm waking up again. This time I'm at 2 hours something. Going back. Didn't see this. 29 minutes. I'd watched 13 more minutes before I fell asleep again. So
16 and 13. So steadily going downwards as well.
Yeah, like I've got less and less of attention span, despite the fact that I was fully awake.
Bloody hell.
And then I managed to get through the rest of it from there.
Yeah.
But I felt like it's taken me 5 hours to watch this.
Yeah.
Like I was totally robbed of my afternoon.
Yeah. Strange enough with the Hobbit trilogy, like I quite enjoyed Lord of the Rings. I wouldn't say it was anywhere near any my favourite trilogy or anything like that. But I still quite enjoyed it. But then when the Hobbit came out, I just immediately had no interest at all. And for what I've heard of people who have actually watched it, I was probably right in thinking that along those lines.
It's got 64% on Rotten Tomatoes, the first one.
Yeah.
The first 43 minutes take place in a house. You do not leave this house for 43 minutes.
Whereas Lord of the Rings is like straight away, I'm going on a bloody quest.
Yeah, the first one starts with like the battle and Isildur and all that stuff, and you're like, all right, okay, I'm totally in. Yeah. And it slows down a bit, and then Gandalf turns up, and you're like, holy shit! And then he comes, and then Christopher Lee turns up, and you're like, what? Christopher Lee's in this? And then he's like, is it secret? Is it safe? And it's like everything about it is like kind of like pacing wise for like a 3-hour film. It does enough that every 15 minutes it's like, hey, don't forget, shit's happening. And then eventually it's like, oh, Sean Bean's here, and you're like, why didn't you tell me sooner?
I shouldn't be reminded of these things, of the things happening. I should just know about it really. It's going on. It is.
I do really enjoy it. I do think they're genius. But I just think The Hobbit looks like, it doesn't look like crap, but it does because it's all CGI.
Yeah.
Whereas The Lord of the Rings, because of the time,
it feels epic. It feels like
it was a lot of it was real, or it was the cutting edge of technology, and it was made to look real.
And you can appreciate the actual effort that went into it as well, though. Like you can feel it, you can see it.
Oh yeah, and it's all. I know he filmed it with like a different frame rate to make it look even more realistic.
Yeah.
But all it does is make it look more fake. because everything looks the same. So all of the fake stuff looks faker, and all the real stuff looks fake.
Fantastic.
But I think he thought it looked great.
Yeah.
Well, obviously someone told him. Someone was like, "Oh, you're gonna be, you know, remember when, you know, George Lucas invented like Dolby surround sound? You're gonna be the Dolby surround sound of Vision." And then they were like, "This looks like crap. You've totally cocked this up. Get back in that fucking editing suite and get this fixed." Because I think only like I was reading something like only one theatre in like all of England could play it the way he wanted it played,
right.
and only like 12 in America. Like, what are you doing? Absolute jokes.
Missed the mark with this one, I think. Like,
yeah, but that's all I've done. I watched all three of them and The Hobbit, and then I started watching Dave Chappelle again. But I can't repeat any of the jokes for legal reasons. I cannot repeat any of the jokes.
so did you say this was last night, the whole Hobbit thing?
No, this was last Saturday.
Can you say it was last night?
This was last night.
Yeah. So while this was happening, while you were watching this and falling asleep and stuff,
I know you could choke on my teeth.
Stop drinking so much tea.
I'm so thirsty.
During my segue, like literally last night, this is actually a story about it. Like, it started with a dream that I had.
Oh God!
But it's related. So it was one of those nights where, you know, it just seems to go on and on forever, and that doesn't happen with me usually. Usually I close my eyes and I wake up, and that's the night done, and I've got to go to work. But like last night, it seemed to be hours and hours of dreaming, and must have all been taken up by this one dream I had. It was actually about Mortal Kombat. Funny enough,
dear me.
I've been watching loads of YouTube videos about Mortal Kombat yesterday. It carried on, and it was essentially me and some of the guys from Mortal Kombat, the good ones. I mean, I wasn't skilled like they were or anything. I was just a normal person. But all getting chased off Shang Tsung. He's literally chasing me as if we're kids, mischievous kids getting chased. But he wanted to eat our souls. Was the difference, and he said that quite a lot. But anyway, the reason I'm bringing it up specifically is because in the morning, like the alarm that got us up to work, my phone's linked to my Spotify account, so it just plays anything from my playlist. This is a choice of out of a couple of thousand songs. This is the song that actually played. So it's pretty horrible.
I think that's the most we can do for legal reasons.
I think it's probably it's like the worst song to wake up to start with. It's a horrible song to wake up to, but also the lyrics are saying, "I want your soul, I will eat your soul." To be woken up, I think it was straight after Shang Tsung said that, I was so confused.
Are you sure you weren't listening to it whilst you were asleep?
No, I didn't. I checked the time and it set off then, and Shang Tsung had been chasing us for bloody hours. So no, absolutely not.
That is terrifying. That is terrifying.
It just confuses so much, and I think for the next 20 minutes when I was still half asleep, I was thinking, is there someone actually trying to go after me soul, or...
Why were you watching so much Mortal Kombat videos? Just watching old Mortal Kombat?
Just doing that
I did
thing.
Watch the someone trying to explain the timeline in like 10 minutes or less.
No, I haven't seen that. What the videos I was actually watching, and it wasn't for any other reason than when you put YouTube on randomly and you just click on whatever's recommended to you.
Oh yeah, those recommendations will destroy your life if they have the chance.
Yeah, definitely. I end up watching like a good hour and a half, 2 hours, just based on like just letting it run.
Oh yeah.
And one of them was all of the Mortal Kombat rip-offs from back in the day, and they all seem to come out in 1994, and they're all like really like blatantly ripping off Mortal Kombat, but just like so like badly, cheaply, like in this. Yeah, it never like I don't know how in the 90s people thought they could get away with doing stuff like that, and did get away with actually.
Well, thingy, wasn't there a big Vanilla Ice? So he was the big one, wasn't he? The copyright, he got done for copyright.
Are they?
And I think that's probably whatever year that happened. I bet from then on people were like, "Oh, we can't just."
Oh, what do you mean for with Queen?
It was
for Ice Ice Baby. Yeah.
What is it? Pressure? Is it Pressure? No.
No. Under Pressure is the Queen song, and Ice Ice Baby is the.
So I bet that like after that moment they were like, "Oh, we can't do this. We can't just like con people anymore."
Yeah. And this was still 1994 though, and we're talking about games, and you know, obviously it wouldn't happen these days because I think there's so much more actual like real life legal things that go into games now. I think in the 90s there was still relatively like people making them from their basements and stuff, and
yeah, of course,
you know, and doing their own thing. But honestly, these games, that one of them actually has Johnny Cage in it, completely unlicensed. You know.
So just like random ninja.
Yeah.
And it's like it's just.
It actually, do you know how it's all like real life people, like live action people that they've like shoehorned into the game somehow. It's actually the actor for Johnny Cage.
Big God.
They said, "Oh, do you want to jump ship and come onto our game instead?" I think it's called like something along the lines of Bloodsport or something, and it's almost exactly the same. And it's got the guy who played Johnny Cage dressed as he would in Mortal Kombat.
Anything for money, yeah.
Right. So things I've been getting. I'll start with games since you did. Obviously, you know, I got a Switch a couple of weeks ago, and I finally started like acquiring some games for it. Notice I don't say buy. I started acquiring games, and one of them was Super Mario Odyssey. And it's absolutely great. It's one of the best single player games I've played in years. It's just so fun, and it reminds us of how you'd feel when you first played the first like Super Mario 64. Same kind of fun, like just constantly jumping around, woohoo, like double kick, like flips and stuff like that. You kind of beat.
Is that the one that's like it looks like is it? Oh, I can't remember if I'm getting this right. It's levels, but then there's also like some sort of like land he walks around or something.
I think that's Super Mario Galaxy. But
that shows you how up to date I am with the old Nintendo.
But
are they still doing Nintendogs? Is your Nintendo passed?
Not that I'm aware of. I've never had a Nintendo, if I'm honest. It's been a while since I've actually really bought back into the whole Nintendo thing. I'm glad I did. But this one's, it's just they're so inventive. Everyone, like they're always different. He has a hat which, because he goes, I can't remember what happens. He basically gets beaten up really badly at the start by Bowser.
What the fuck?
He ends up on like on a planet which is all hats.
Of course.
Sentient hats. They've all got eyes and they all float about. And one of them becomes his hat. And he helps him along his missions from then on. At one point he's on the moon and he like...
Sounds way too Japanesey for my liking.
I thought that might be the case, mate. But honestly, it's you can't have much more fun than with them. I've been watching loads of films and stuff as well. I mean, because that took a lot of my time. I've already completed Super Mario. It took a while, but I put all my time into it for a bit.
What's the thing? You not found that like no matter how big or games, like the last game that I played that took a long time to genuinely beat, like spending your time doing it, not like doing side missions and stuff, would still be Red Dead.
Oh yeah.
Red Dead took me the longest time I've ever taken. You know, the first 3 weeks of playing that were a write-off because I was only doing side missions. After like I think I was on the 6th or 7th mission before I went back to before I went away, started doing side stuff, and then came back 3 weeks later, and I was like, oh, like someone was like, hey, do you need a holster? And it's like, I've had a holster for the last 3 weeks. I've been hunting loads of things.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
And the characters are like, you need to get your gun cleaned. And I'm like, what? I have like 17 guns, and like I'm fully powered up and all this stuff. So I obviously was doing too much of that. But even
but I think it's, you know, back in the day when you were first playing the Grand Theft Auto games, that would be fair enough because there wasn't so much side stuff to go into.
Yeah.
They could say things like that and it would work. Like, oh, you need to, like, I think it was in San Andreas when he's talking about like, your clothes are shit. You need to sort yourself out. That would be fine.
But the thing is, it's. Oh yeah, I remember that because you see, even if you didn't buy the right thing, you would send you back in and be like, you bought the wrong thing.
Because you need to be wearing green, basically.
But then it's like probably before that as well, I played Grand Theft Auto 5 for a while up until, you know, before having a break before Red Dead, and that took ages to beat as well. But like I say, like with God of War, I was like thoroughly enjoying it, and then it just seemed to be like, okay, we're done now. Like we ran out of time to keep going, so this is all you're gonna get.
It's a conversation we've had in the past about like this. There's just not, obviously apart from exceptions like Rockstar games, the effort that they put into games just isn't there anymore.
I think like I've got final. I've like play and then delete a lot of the games because obviously I'm all online, so I can just get it back again. So like the one game that I haven't deleted, other than like FIFA, because obviously you can pick up and play it anytime, is Final Fantasy 7. Oh, yeah. Every couple of weeks I look at that and I'm going to start you again and just play you like you read about it, you sexy bitch. but where it's like, but like there's no other game. Like I've still got Red Dead 2 saved just because if I ever want to play it again, like soon, it's such a big download. I have to download it all again. But I'm downloading Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and like 3 of the games in the middle at the minute because it's gone in the sale. I'm like, it's 20 quid for like 5 games, or I could pay £60 and get the new king and get the new one. And someone at work had got it, and they were like, "Oh, there's only like 7 lands," and I'm like, "What? 7 lands?" They're like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Well, there was like 12 in the first one, and even more, like 14 in the second one." "Oh yeah, only 7, but it looks really good." I was like, "No, you don't. No.
It's not the point.
Like, I said in the WhatsApp with Dave, I was like, "Oh, how's he was like, oh, when I beat Resident Evil 2, it automatically declared B, because obviously I said that someone had reviewed it and knocked off points saying when I beat it with Leon, I had to beat it with Leon again."
Yes.
Which whether they're fixed or there was something wrong with his whatever, who knows? With the
or he's full of shit.
It could have just been an early review copy that wasn't set up correctly.
Yeah.
We'll never know. But Dave was like, "Oh no, it works fine straight away," and I was like, "What the fuck? Like that's only been like 3 days."
Yeah.
And he works obviously long hours away, and he's like managed to get it beaten. I was like, "Yeah, but 10 hours." I was like, "I beg your pardon."
I mean, I think he happened to be off that week.
I beg your pardon.
He happened to be off that week, but still, like, you know, yeah, you're right. I mean, 10 hours is
that's
10
a
hours.
day.
Yeah.
That is like if you bought the game at 9 o'clock in the morning and your wife didn't get back till 8 o'clock at night. You beat it.
He's got clever.
And that's it. And you're like,
yeah.
Unacceptable.
Yeah.
I'm not paying £50 for 10 hours.
Yeah.
Like I was angry.
Yeah.
I was very angry when he said that. Now to be fair, when it goes down to 20 odd quid, of course I will pick it up, because then you're paying £1 an hour.
Yeah.
But when it's like £50,
yeah,
and you're like, do I buy this game or do I buy this game? Well, this one's only going to keep me entertained for 20 hours.
Yeah.
And then it's done with no replayability in reality.
Yeah.
See, I find that with other things. Resident Evil 7, loved Resident Evil 7, but it took longer to play because I was so scared playing it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god, looking around corners and shit. And then I was like, well, if I actually played this as like I played Resident Evil 6 or 5 or whatever with no fear whatsoever, I'd have blasted through this.
Blast through it, yeah, definitely. And actually, that's a good point as well, because I know Dave gets scared, bless him. So he probably would have added some extra time onto that for his.
But you do it yourself though. Like
yeah.
I always do it because I obviously like I love like horror films and stuff like that. Like not super gory stuff. Like not like the fuck
breaking the world.
Not like torture porn and stuff like that. I mean, like I've seen all the hostels and you know what they are what they are.
Yeah.
But like I love like ghost stories and stuff like that. Not the film ghost stories, but ghost
like tense films and
yeah,
actual horror films.
Exactly. Things like, you know, Insidious and stuff like that,
yeah.
and The Conjuring. You know, for whatever you think about the film in total, there are moments in those films that are like truly terrifying, or even just like delightful because you enjoy the feeling it makes.
Of course, films that actually use devices in order to get you, like, you know, in that mindset.
But like stuff like when, like, you know, when Jack would turn up and you'd be like, oh god, like, because they'd built it up for so long, and then he burst through the wall, and then you'd be like, ah, and then you'd release all that tension you've had for the last half an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't imagine playing it in VR.
No.
Well, I can. It would be on the fucking floor, not being played by me.
Covered in shit.
I'm like, you have to play this for me. Tell me what you see.
Be on the floor along with me arse.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine. And I do like the VR. Like I think VR would only really be good for like shoot 'em ups and stuff like that, like shooting games and like ducking into like Time Crisis and stuff like that. But I could not imagine playing like a.
I mean, I would love it. I know what you mean, but
it's definitely
it would take a lot of getting used to as well.
Yeah, it's definitely like a hey, you know, I'll watch you play it and laugh at you
yeah.
like panicking. But then it's like, well, 400 quid's a lot of money to drop to watch someone else have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't think so.
Nah.
And I think that's another one. I don't think VR will ever catch on really until they like make it like you know, like Total Recall good and, you know, super future whatever.
Yeah, and probably like, you know, relatively affordable as well.
Whilst it still like put something around your hands and then you gotta put the thing on and then you gotta wear gloves and so like Ready Player One. It's like, nah, get rid of all that crap.
Yeah. So film and TV wise, I've Netflix has actually been picking up a bit recently. I got really sick of it, but I think over the last month or two, it's been the first time there's been some new stuff that I've actually enjoyed. Watched a series called Russian Doll.
I saw the trailer.
Natasha Lyonne from American Pie. And
I don't like. Stacey doesn't like the Groundhog Day scenario.
Well, that's the thing, is that I started watching it, and immediately, obviously, that's where you go to. That's what you think's happening, but it very quickly goes away from that after a while. That's not the entire concept. There's so much more to it.
Then it's a very poor trailer.
Yeah,
because they've sold it as just that.
Well, exactly. I think even probably the full first episode, you'd still think it was that concept as well, though. So maybe they didn't want to give too much away. So that's probably the reason for the trailer being like that. But like I say, by the time the second episode comes around, because you couldn't do a Groundhog Day film in an 8-part series.
Of course not.
It
would be infuriating.
So there's so much more to it than that. Obviously, basically, like, she keeps on going back to the same place every time she dies, and with that becomes a lot of like inventive ways of that happening. Again, there's a lot more characters in it. There's people who get involved, and more things happening. That, and honestly, I was probably along the same lines as you were both thinking. This is just going to be Groundhog Day, drawn out, get boring. Yeah. But it really isn't. I really enjoyed it. It's the first series I've watched in ages, which I've really enjoyed.
Netflix do have a few. I think they've got that Marlon Wayans one, which is like he wakes up in a lift naked.
Oh yes.
And then he has to try and get out of the lift without getting seen.
Yeah.
And then every time he gets seen, he has to go back to the lift.
Yeah.
And it's like there's a few like time travel Groundhog Day things on like that on Netflix originals, and that naked is like got 0% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Right. I can't say I've watched that.
It's the worst reviewed film on all of Netflix.
Right.
So like imagine that for a second.
Whereas Russian Doll is actually getting some really good reviews, and everyone I know is really enjoying it.
As I say, it looked like it was going to be like interesting, and then when I was halfway through the trailer, I was just like, oh no.
I think a lot of it rests on that Natasha Lyonne, the main lass in it. Very, very likeable.
I know
she's really good.
I know Amy Poehler was working on it as well. And
yeah, it was them two who wrote it.
Yeah, she's Parks and Rec, isn't she?
Yeah, so I think obviously they'll be able to maximise like Natasha Lyonne's role in it as well, like use her abilities to the best. And honestly, I'd really recommend it. Film wise, I watched Black Klansman.
I still need to.
Oh, it's so good. It's I knew it was going to be good, but not as good as that. I
want to see Black Klansman, and Sorry to Bother You, which are like the two like whatever you want to call them, the two black films that came out like almost exactly the same night.
Yeah.
And I missed both of them.
I really want to. Well, obviously I didn't see this at the pictures or anything like that. But it would have been nice to, like I say, around about that time, because there was. I reckon actually that point of the year, last year, there was. I think like 3 or 4 good films that came out.
I think those two came out, and Wreck-It Ralph, and Wreck-It Ralph was just like, get out of the way, I'm taking all this money.
Yeah.
And that was that. It was just like, well, but it's British cinemas are very different to American ones. British cinemas are very much like look at Christmas. Like Christmas time, they were like Aquaman, Mary Poppins, 10 showings a day, and then like one.
And then I think it was
film they had
what was it called again? It was Holmes and Watson.
Yeah,
which
was absolutely gutted by the reviews.
I know, same.
But I think it made all of its money back.
Really?
I think it made all of its money back just because of like, oh, it's Will Ferrell. How truly bad can it be?
Yeah.
But
it's them two again, isn't it?
I only know one person who saw it, and he said it was terrible.
Really? Right.
But the minute it's on Netflix, I'm gonna watch it.
I'm gonna watch it. I know it's gonna be crap, but
yeah,
you know, it's the Step Brothers.
Sometimes there's nuggets in a film that's just like, you know, you'll tell the joke and then.
Well, exactly. The one I'm thinking of is it? Oh, not Walk Hard. The one with Will Ferrell when he goes to prison.
Oh, Get
Hard.
Yeah.
Get Hard. Terrible film, but there's about 3 or 4 parts in it which are absolutely hilarious. You know, apart from that, it is absolutely shite. But like,
yeah, absolutely terrible.
But yeah, anyway, Black Klansman. It's really funny, equally kind of shocking, and you know, really intelligent film. The last 5 minutes really shocked us. It completely changes tone. I'm not going to go into any more if you haven't seen it, but it's it really is a shocking ending. He used that particular device really effectively. Is all I'm going to say. But yeah, definitely recommend that one. That series and that film is the best 2 examples of a series and film I've watched in a few months at least.
Is that you done?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. I thought you were leaving a dramatic pause.
No, nothing like that.
Kingdom Hearts is ready to use. I hate it when it's ready to use and it's like, oh hey, you can play through like the training level, and you're like, you're not ready to use at all. You're a liar.
So have you downloaded Kingdom Hearts? Have you?
Yeah, but it's got another 35 gigs to download before it's actually done.
Oh right, okay.
Right, okay. Well then, shall we move on to the news?
Yeah, why not?
But we've got a lot of news to go over. And it's a bit all over the place because I was kind of doing it like back over. So some of the stuff that's brand new is at the start, and then some of the older stuff that you might have already heard and stuff is at the back. So the first thing that we'll start with is that Will Smith's Genie's been revealed.
Yes.
Just making sure that you've seen that.
I have seen that.
it looks a bit odd.
Yeah.
But I like Will Smith.
Yeah, I think
it's difficult to not like Will Smith.
and also it's it's hard to say that when you've only seen that tiny little part of the trailer.
3 seconds.
Yeah, when you actually see it in the way the movement's meant to be, and you know.
Yeah.
I think it'll be.
And it's also
different.
like everyone like. You know, the visual effects are not ready.
Yeah.
Actually, I was what was that? Yeah, it was Lord of the Rings. I was watching the making of, and they were saying like to do Gollum was like something ridiculous. Like it was like 12 hours for every frame, so it was like 3 or 4 days to do a second of the Gollum footage.
Really? Wow.
To render it. So most of the time was spent on Gollum was just like a room filled with fans, ice, and computers just running, rendering Gollum, and it's just like so you know, whenever you see visual effects, you know, this film doesn't come out till May. I guarantee you these visual effects. Michael Bay is another prime example. They finished the visual effects for Transformers before they sent it out to the cinema, like hours before they were like, this needs to be delivered to cinemas. Where is the final cut? Like hours before. I think he was in America and he was like, there's footage on the first DVD of like him talking to people in like Korea, being like, no, I need you to move that, put that there, make that more blue. And the guys are like, we need this. It's in cinemas next week. It's like, no, it's not ready. It's not ready.
To put that amount of pressure on themselves seems so unnecessary. Like, I know obviously they need to hit deadlines and stuff, but that's pushing it a bit, isn't it?
Don't forget about the South Park.
Yeah.
In that documentary, that guy was like, "Oh, I think it's the first ever time we're going to be late," and then eventually, obviously, they're not late. And the guy's like, "Yeah, we got it to the network 40 minutes before it was on TV."
Christ. So what happened if the word late?
Like, don't forget 40 minutes. Some guy has to watch it to make sure you can put it on the air.
Yeah.
So it's like out of the 40 minutes before it goes on, 22 of them are spent with the guy being like, "Okay, I'm watching it." You know, oh shit, you've got like there's 2 seconds where nothing happens. There's there's an issue, unfixable.
Yeah.
But that's the way those guys.
Like, no distractions, please. I need to really watch this. And then obviously, if something is like missing, be like, "Well, I need to look back at this." Wind it like.
There's nothing. Yeah, so it's always interesting, but he does look a bit odd. But I think that's something they'll probably fix. I think it'll look way more wavy and stuff.
Well, exactly that, and also, like I say, I think for that 1 second, if you pick out any 1 second of any kind of visual effects anyway, you could probably make it look bad. It's just probably a shame that they chose that particular 3 seconds for the trailer.
Yeah, like him like slowly coming towards the camera, like. Should have just done that, like the big like him coming out, like
the actual reveal.
Yeah, 10,000 years and give such a crick in the neck. Should have just done that.
I hope he does exactly that.
I hope he does a Robin Williams impression somewhere in there, like his face just changes and it's Robin.
Yeah.
That would be the best thing to do, because he does he do Jack Nicholson and
like really big shoe, really big that kind of thing.
So anything like that would be good. I'm sure, because he obviously turns into like Pinocchio in the first one, so I'm sure they'll do something for Robin. So that's the first one. Then the thing I read today was that Robert Pattinson is being considered to play Batman. So Matt Reeves wants a young Batman, but the studio wants someone who's in their 30s who's got some cachet. So the thought is that if they can get someone in their late 20s who's already a known quantity, someone like Robert Pattinson, who is obviously doing everything he can to get away from Twilight now,
right?
Working with some decent directors, doing some decent films, or in some cases some really bizarre films. But apparently, he's now the secret favourite to get the role. Jack O'Connell is still apparently also in the running, which gives you an idea of the kind of people they're looking for. But Robert Pattinson as Batman, I don't think. I mean, like, it would have to be like when he got in the suit would have to be like some sort of robot suit, so it was like make him taller and bigger, and it'd just be very odd.
I mean, funnily enough, I actually read an article today. I think it was just on like MSN News or something like that, talking about how obviously Ben Affleck is not going to do Batman anymore. That, and it's been recently confirmed. It's always been on the cards for ages, but it's been recently actually confirmed, and they give their choices. Who they would want to play Batman, and like I think 6 out of 7 were absolutely terrible choices. Like really bad though. Like you're thinking, where did you get that idea from? The only one that I thought was good was Michael B. Jordan. That's the only one who I thought, that could be a good choice.
I think Michael B. Jordan for Batman or Superman would be really cool. But like everyone, they're always the same. Like, oh, John Hamm, because he's got a really strong jaw, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Why are you making casting decisions based on jawlines?
I actually happen to think that John Hamm would be a really good choice because he's got the playboy billionaire thing like down.
But not if you want Batman doing it in his first year. If you're trying to do young Batman, that's the thing. They've already done old Batman, and like obviously like for whatever reason financially it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So they're like, oh, let's just get away from old Batman and just do young Batman.
So Robert Pattinson was actually one of their choices on there. I don't know if they're influenced by the fact that this might have already been said, and they're like, oh, let's just get in there and pretend that we've kind of said it. Probably. But another one of the choices, right? And don't get us wrong, I'm not like, I wouldn't be against having like an Asian Batman like this at all, but the guy that chose had literally not one characteristic that you'd want as Batman, and it was Stephen Yeun, who was from Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, yeah.
What one characteristic has he got that you'd think Bruce Wayne would have? Not one.
Well, I mean, Heath Ledger and Christian Bale were not obviously expected choices, but they are at least Oscar-winning actors who are like, you know, Daniel Day-Lewis was asked to be Aragorn twice.
Right. Okay.
You know, and you think about like what he brings to that character and stuff like that. Like, but Stephen Yeun is a working TV actor.
Yeah.
Like, it's very, very, very rare that a TV actor actually makes it. Like, it's the only thing rarer than a TV actor getting to be a Hollywood actor is like going from a soap to a Hollywood actor. Like, I don't care what anyone says, TV acting is not as good as Hollywood acting. Yeah. End of. Fight me.
It annoyed us a bit, and just because, like, obviously, I know, you know, what we do when we've been doing the casting thing and that. It's for the sake of this podcast. Like, that's all we do it for. But I still felt like we put like 100 times more effort than this person who gets paid quite a lot of money to do it.
Yeah.
They're just literally plucking actors from the air and going, oh yeah, let's do him. They go, that'll be fine.
Well, it's like being like, oh, Rami Malek's up for the next Batman. well, why? Well, he just won a Golden Globe.
Oh yeah, because he was like, he's relevant at the minute, so let's put him.
Yeah, he's relevant. Yeah. Well, he won't be relevant in 3 years' time when this fucking film comes out. Yeah. You clowns.
Especially after you cast him as Batman and he fucking shits the bed.
You need someone. You'd be better off getting a nobody.
Yeah.
And just being like, you know, like a trying to think of something like that guy who was the Daredevil, the Daredevil. He was like, his big thing was like some what you call him, Matthew Vaughn spotted him and put him in Stardust, and that was kind of it. That's all he'd really done. And then he did Daredevil, and people were like, "Whoa, this guy's A, British. I didn't know that, and B, he's a pretty good actor." But before then, he'd only been in Stardust and not really much else.
Yeah.
So that's what, like, if that's what they want to do, like, just do that. Or like Christian Bale, like, no one really knew who Christian Bale was, and then when Batman Begins happened, everyone was like, I need to see everything Christian Bale's done before this movie. But like, you know, I do feel that sometimes people put more effort in. People who are getting paid 6-figure sums, near 7-figure sums a year, put less effort in than we do.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I don't understand it, and I suppose at the end of the day, it's because it doesn't really matter. It's a platform of MSN. People are going to read it anyway, and they're probably going to be applauded more for using relevant actors and diversity than actual good choices.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
of course. Well, speaking of Rami Malek, the BAFTAs happened the other day.
Yeah.
2 days ago now. Roma won Best Film and Best Director. Haven't seen it, but it was released on Netflix in the UK, which. He referenced Netflix in his speech, so I'm wondering if it's been released on Netflix everywhere.
I think it was a Netflix original.
It's a Netflix original. So again, very odd that like Netflix are making both BAFTA winning and Oscar nominated films, and then at the same time making things like that naked.
Yeah.
So there's no quality control whatsoever.
No, I think they're going for an all rounder.
There's sometimes they're like, we'll buy this because it's got, you know, whoever. It's got some, you know, it's got Kurt Russell in it and this person, so we'll just buy this for. I've just what was it?
I suppose they're trying to appeal to everyone. To be fair, though, that you know they can't have all art house films because not everyone is going to appeal to that. And just
that Ted Bundy, the Ted Bundy documentary.
The Tips, yeah.
The guy who did the Tapes, the documentarian Joe Berlinger, did the film with Zac Efron, and he sold the film to Netflix for $9 million.
Right.
And then all the reviews have come out and been like, oh, it's 5 out of 10. So immediately, smell that. Smells like a bomb.
Right.
So someone was like, "Oh, hang on, I've got to. Netflix know me. I've just done like that best documentary that's on at the minute. I'll just sell it at Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
We get all our money back. Zach gets his money and a little bit of glory for for acting and whatnot. And then if it's not successful, who cares?
Yeah.
Goes on Netflix. Netflix will say
they're not losing or gaining anything.
Netflix will be like, "Oh, it's amazing! Everyone come and watch it."
Yeah.
And then they'll just slowly push it aside, put it in the corner, and be like, "We didn't release that film. I haven't seen that film." Like
we just bought it off someone.
If it bombs, who cares? It's already out there for public consumption. So like, Netflix need to get that under control, or they're gonna burst their own bubble, and then they're gonna just totally they're gonna be like. They're going to end up being like Amazon, which is like the Amazon like originals are like win all the plaudits, but no one's talking about them.
Nobody wants to watch them.
Nobody, and their selection of movies is atrocious.
Yeah, the movies are atrocious. The series, like you say, they get all the awards and stuff like that.
Nobody's watching them.
The Marvelous Mrs.
That's got nominated for an Emmy like the last however many 5 years in a row, and I think the main woman went often wins and stuff like this. I don't know a single person.
Rachel.
I only know other than you, Dave, and 2 other people at work. These are the only 4 people I know who have Amazon Prime, and then actually bother their asses to watch the thing. And then even then, it's like the whole algorithm thing doesn't work. Oh, you watched The Conjuring. We think you'd like My Little Pony the movie. Well, why would you think that?
What's weird about that is that I've noticed on Amazon Prime is that it doesn't actually recommend anything to me. What it says, right? When it says what at the watch next part,
watch next,
it has what I've already watched. it puts what you've just watched next in line to watch next.
Yeah.
So I've got if you go on along the watch next, it's everything that I've already seen.
I know that Jeff Bezos is currently going. I think his name's Jeff Bezos. Is currently going through a divorce from his wife, and she's going to take however many billion off him. Whatever he's left with, please get that fixed.
I mean, he's the richest man in the world.
Get that fixed.
So I don't think it's going to bother him too much.
Well, if he's got all the money in the world, you can make a little bit more money by getting that sorted.
Yeah,
it's just a joke. It really is. It's very, very poor, very angry.
Yeah, take a bit of pride in it, Bezos.
Yeah, god damn it. Rami Malek won Best Actor. He is the best thing about Bohemian Rhapsody, but it's very, very rare that like you get like a Best Actor award, and yet there's no Best Director. I mean, obviously because of Bryan Singer, but there's no best like it's not up for Best Film. There's no other actors up for anything. It's just him. Yeah. Very fishy.
Yeah.
Very, very fishy indeed.
I'm pretty sure it's up for Best Picture on the Oscars though, isn't it?
It wasn't the Golden Globes, but it wasn't at the BAFTAs.
It's nominated Oscars, I'm sure.
Well, I know the Americans have a different sensibility to us as well. And don't forget, obviously the Oscars has now got 12 rather than like 5.
What's that?
They've got 12 nominees rather than just 5.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, because
really?
Because what was it? There was The Dark Knight started it because they were like, someone on the Academy was like, "Oh, well, we had to pick the 5 best films. Maybe if we had to pick 6, we'd have picked Dark Knight." And then someone was like, "You can't say that shit. Like, what? That's like
if you're saying that, you need to put it in there.
That's derogatory to like Hollywood films."
As if it's like, is that 6 best? Then obviously, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. But then I think it's changed either this year or like recently, very recently. So now it's like 12. That's why Black Panther is up for Best Film.
But why do that though? All they're doing is pandering to people who complain about nonsense. Where does it end?
All you're saying is
people are going to go, well, why not 13?
It's the thing. This is the 12th best film of the year. Well, then why nominate it? Because if it's not even in the top 10, how is it going to win? Yeah, it's impossible. It's an impossibility.
I think 10 would probably be a good frame for the most you need in there. To be honest, you don't need more than 10.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. And then Olivia Colman won for Best Actress and obviously if Dave was here, I'm sure he said that she was great in it.
Yeah. Apparently that's well deserved.
Oh right, okay. Now let's get into some rapid fire. Child's Play is getting rebooted.
Yes,
that trailer's out. Doesn't look too bad.
I haven't seen the trailer.
Monster Hunter got a release date. Mila Jovovich, and I think it's I want to say it's Donnie Yen, but I might be wrong about that. That's out September 2020. Coming to America 2.
Right.
August 2020.
That must be 25 years in the making.
I think it was 80 something.
Yeah.
So
30 years probably.
More than 30 by the time 2020. So yeah, it'll be probably might even be if it came out in 1980, that'll be 40 years.
Jesus Christ. Surely it must be like 85 or something. But that's well over 30 years.
I hope so. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 will use James Gunn's script. which is worrying
Yeah.
because I think it's a first draft.
Yeah.
So it's just like, that's it. No rewrites. No one's touching this.
Right.
Whatever he said in his first.
Why not just involve him completely then?
Because he said things about like.
I know, but they're using some of his work, so why not use his direction skills as well? It doesn't make any sense.
They won't have it. But now here's something a bit surprising. So James Cameron's been talking about the new Terminator. So he said that Linda Hamilton is obviously returning, and she's going to be helping to pass the torch to the new like cast of young women who are taking over the franchise. Arnold is back as the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
He is playing the villain, which is a bit odd that he revealed that. Seems a bit odd.
It seems like something that you watch kind of like.
Yeah, you'd be like, oh, I wonder if he's going to be a villain or a good guy. No, he's just like, nope, he's playing the T-800 and he's evil. And he also is going to play the human version that the model's based off of. So he's just going to be like this, whatever, this guy called Stan who's like, hello, I'm massive.
Right, okay.
So he's going to play a regular human and also the villain.
Except so the one that they've based it off of is they've been like, well, okay, well we'll make it this guy, but half his age. Yeah.
So and I believe he has he is playing an old man with a beard.
Right. Okay.
I believe.
Okay.
So I'm guessing he'll probably be like, don't let my size fool you. I am actually a very intelligent scientist.
I wonder if the Arnold that they're talking about though, as being the evil robot, are they going to edit him to make him look young like they did in Salvation?
I think they're going to like CGI him to make him look young.
Right,
but Arnold is playing that character.
Okay.
So they'll probably just CGI his face to make a, like they did with like Michael Douglas and stuff in that man. I think they'll just do that. But here's the big thing. So Cameron also said he was looking to get involved back in with the Alien franchise, and said that he didn't directly reference anything that Ridley Scott had done with Prometheus and stuff like that. But he was like, I'm going to try and help Neil Blomkamp get Alien 5 made. He's going to make a phone call.
That's quite. It's an
So that's James Cameron effectively saying, I didn't like those two films. I don't want to see the third one that Ridley Scott apparently wants to make. I'm going to try and get this thing reset.
Right. Okay.
Which is all out director war.
Yeah.
that's like Spielberg's like spitting in your food and being like, there it is.
Yeah.
Eat that.
Right. Okay.
But I mean, Neil Blomkamp,
I just don't see
Sigourney Weaver will be back.
James Cameron doing much better at it, man. Like, I mean, what's his recent kind of thing? Is the newer Terminator films, which are pretty shocking.
Well, no, he wasn't involved in Terminators at all. He's come back to fix it, apparently.
I thought if he wasn't involved in the last one, he definitely endorsed it.
They paid him to endorse it.
Right.
I think he was like, it's my favourite Terminator film, and then it came out and he was just like, I lied for money.
He doesn't need money. He was at the helm for the best selling film ever made 10 years ago.
And he has 5 Avatar films coming out.
5
up until 2022. So there's one next year. No, I think there's one. No, there can't be one this year. I might be wrong about this.
But 2022 is only 3 years away.
I think he's got one either this year or next year, then one the year after that, then he's taking a break, and then he's doing another 2 back to back.
Right.
So it's like 2, 1 year break, and 2. And actually, as well, the guy who was in the villain in the first one has revealed that he's back as the villain in the second one, and all of it takes place underwater. And I'm like, what the hell's going on with this film?
I just don't understand how
everything
it's the most popular film ever made.
I get less and less interested the more I hear about this bloody thing.
How is it the most popular film ever when nobody seems to be interested?
The only people who are interested are Disney, because they're buying Fox and are like, we've just built Avatar Land, this thing better make us money.
Yeah.
Because we just spent billions buying it off Fox.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make money, well, as I say, Alien is now going to be in charge.
The ride was still class,
Yeah, but the Alien is now going to be obviously fall under Disney.
Yeah.
So obviously, when James Cameron says he's going to make a phone call, he's going to ring Disney and say, "Remember how we're making this Avatar? I want to make Alien 5."
Get Neil Blomkamp in with us.
And I'm sure Disney will be like, "We have no interest in Prometheus. Let's make Alien 5."
Well,
speaking of sequels, Halloween sequels getting written. And all the original cast are expected to return. Next sequel, Jumanji. Nick Jonas is back I know you're a big Nick Jonas fan.
I'm a big sequel fan.
And all of the teens are back. We talked about this a few weeks ago.
Yes.
All of the teens are back.
I read about that actually as well.
So I think it's going to be.
How are they going to do this?
Sucked into the phones. It's an app.
Right. Okay.
It's an Emoji Movie all over.
So,
again.
but it's the same 4 people.
That's right.
How is that going to happen?
I don't know. Fucking The Rock's going to come out of the phone and be like, "I need you to help me. Come with me. Come with me if you want to live."
Doing his best Arnie impression.
That's right. Oh God, Arnold and The Rock. They've been in a
I'm really surprised they haven't done a film
No.
together.
It should be, yeah. Well, like if they ever do like a good version of the Expendables, like if The Rock's like, I'm going to do the Expendables, like the young Expendables.
Yeah.
That would be good. I'd watch that.
Surely he's not even that young anymore.
He's got to be in his 40s, hasn't he? He's
All
got to
right.
be 50s maybe.
50s maybe.
But then actually Arnie's in his 70s. I think Bruce is late 60s as well.
Yeah.
They're all getting old. Sad. Speaking of sad, I know you were super excited for World War Z 2.
Absolutely, yeah. I couldn't contain my excitement within
Well,
the trousers.
it's dead.
Right.
Ironically, it's
No.
dead. So David Fincher apparently was getting involved in all this stuff, and then it was only the only people attached were David Fincher and Brad Pitt, who Brad Pitt had begged to direct the film, and then it went. The budget just got bigger and bigger and bigger, and they just canned it.
Right, okay. Brilliant.
But they might do a Mad Max sequel. Apparently,
That would be better. I'm more excited about that.
I think that's what they're looking at right now. Deadpool, obviously, when it moves over to Disney, apparently will stay like 18 rated, but it's not going to join the main cinematic universe. It will be off in its own little 15, 18 rated, R rated.
So there's
universe.
good news and bad news, basically.
So yeah, but that's just the rumor. Not obviously they'll never reveal anything about that until it actually happens, because I think it's November that it should go through.
As long as the cameos they choose are better than the ones that already came, because they just seem to just like pluck out the worst X-Men and stuff.
It's so bad. Actually, it's not on here, but I think it was revealed the other day that Deadpool 2 is officially the highest grossing X-Men film.
Alright.
So Deadpool 2 made more money than the X-Men films. That gives you an idea of like how poor the couple of choices were.
I don't understand how Deadpool 2 made more than Deadpool.
Well, sequels tend to.
That's mad.
Well, I think Shrek the Third made more than the Shrek 1 and Shrek 2. But then Shrek 4 made less because people were like, after they saw Shrek the Third, they were like, okay, now you're pissing in our face.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Shaft. Did you see the Shaft trailer?
No, you mentioned about this though.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So good.
Alright, I was going, when he said unbelievable, I still wasn't sure which side of the fence you were on.
Richard Roundtree back as the original Shaft. Samuel L. Jackson as the Shaft he played back in like '99, and then I think his name is like Jesse Carter or something like that, or Jesse T. Carter, something like that. And he's playing Samuel L. Jackson's son,
who is the new Shaft.
Who's the new Shaft, but he's Shaft in training. Like he doesn't like want to like fight. He doesn't know how to use a gun and stuff like that. So I think he's like taking him about town, like just like beating the crap out of people.
So Samuel L. Jackson is the Shaft that he played in Shaft 2000.
Yeah. So Richard Roundtree is John Shaft from the '70s show.
I didn't realise that Shaft 2000 was actually in the same universe as John Shaft.
Yeah, it's his son. He's technically John Shaft Jr.
Right.
And then this one is John Shaft Jr.
Does that get mentioned?
John Shaft the third.
Does that get mentioned in the last Shaft that he's his son? Or is it now just like, oh, by the way, he's his son and he's got a son?
I think they make reference to it to like, oh, your dad was a great whatever.
Yes,
and that's it.
Yeah.
I think the reference, the fact that he's not the original, is some sort of sequel.
Right. Okay.
But this one obviously is very much,
yeah.
And it's we like thoroughly like enjoyed the trailer. There's a bit where a woman like grabs a baseball bat. And he's just like, you can't hit a woman, and he's like, what do you mean? I'm an equal opportunity ass whooper. And then I think she ends up hitting the kid. He's like, ah. There's another trailer, Hobbs and Shaw. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
That looks mental.
Looks insane.
Idris Elba with these superpowers.
Yeah, I'll be there opening day, and then I'll be like, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Just like all the Fast and Furious, you're like, there's bits, just like a lot we've been talking about, there's a lot of films that have really good bits, but then Fast and Furious has too many bits where people talk.
For me, Fast and Furious is not that series of films for me. Like it's Fast and Furious is bad from start to finish in my eyes. Since The Rock joined, there's bits with The Rock and stuff like that are good, okay. But then there's too many bits, like I say, where people are talking like mumbo jumbo, and you're like,
if you want to do something with a submarine, just do something with a submarine.
Yeah.
Don't like, oh well, this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen, and this is gonna happen. I'm a spy now. It's like, no, don't have to do any of this.
Just do it.
You should just be like, oh, what's the Rock? He's a government agent. Then just give him a mission that involves a submarine. Just backdoor the Rock into being James Bond, and we've got no problems. Zombieland 2 is called Zombieland Double Tap.
Yeah, have you seen the poster for it as well?
10-year challenge.
It's exactly, yeah. I quite like that.
Shaggy will not be in Mortal Kombat 11.
Shaggy?
Yep, so there was a big push to get Shaggy from Scooby-Doo to be a character in Mortal Kombat 11.
What?
For some reason. I don't know how it caught on. And then Matthew Lillard was like, I'll voice that.
Who the bloody hell said that? Like, who said...
I don't know. Someone did.
Obviously wouldn't work.
Someone did, and then people started doing, like, you know, photoshopping him into Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
That's the most random thing I've ever heard.
And then after about 2 weeks, the creator was like, everyone stopped talking about this. This isn't happening.
It's not going to happen.
Like, there was like a 300,000 petition. So that's dead. Apparently, again, as we spoke about 1,000 times before, Rocksteady talking about doing a Superman game. It's back to being a Batman game.
Yes.
Called Arkham Crisis, which will be a 12-chapter story. Each chapter will be about an hour long, and apparently the Batwing will also be playable. Sounds like crap to me.
Yeah.
The Batwing might be playable. I don't see them doing... First of all, Arkham's never been 12 hours long.
No.
It's always been much longer than that, and there's loads of, obviously... It's one of those... It's another game where you're like... It will show you secrets and then be like... You can't get it yet because you need to unlock this upgrade.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I can't see any of this being true. Plus, up until I read that article, we were so sure and told 1,000 times they're doing a Superman game, they're going to ruin the Superman game. Then it became a Justice League game, and now it's back to being a Batman game.
The chopping and changing in this is just unbelievable.
Effectively, no one knows.
If you're going to set out to do a Superman game, make a bloody Superman game.
I don't think any of that's true at all.
No.
Resident Evil 5 is officially the best-selling game in the Resident Evil series. Who the hell is still buying it? I don't know, but
Resident Evil 5.
But Resident Evil 2 has obviously been out, and they've been talking about which game's done the best. Resident Evil 2 sold 3 million in its first weekend or whatever. Yeah. But Resident Evil 5 is still officially the best-selling game.
If you told us it was Resident Evil 4, I'd be a lot less surprised.
It's 5. It's bizarre, isn't it? Doesn't make any sense. And that's not money. That's just copies.
Yeah.
So you can't even be like, oh well, it was a newer game, more expensive. No, it's just copies. Red Sonja has been delayed after Bryan Singer's sexual assault claims,
right?
Which apparently is part of the reason why he left Bohemian Rhapsody. Although no one will say that. These are all just claims. There's no court case. It's not like a Kevin Spacey scenario where he's actually been in court.
Yeah.
So, and plus, does anyone really want a Red Sonja film? I know I don't. He's not doing any more of the X-Men films. I don't want any more of them either. So it doesn't really affect me too much. But obviously the guy doesn't deserve to ever work again if any of this is true.
Absolutely.
It's been a Groundhog Day. Did you know there's a Groundhog Day VR game? You want to go and buy VR now, don't you?
No.
Okay. This is called Grandfather Day. What the fuck? It's called
Grandfather. That sounds good.
Groundhog
sounds
Day,
fun.
like father, like son. It's a sequel to Groundhog Day, and it's a VR game.
I can see myself enjoying that, man.
So, and then the last bit of news is that Resident Evil 8 will apparently continue the storyline started in Resident Evil 7 and focus on the origins of the first E-type bioweapon designed to eliminate enemies without the need for combat. Apparently the game will take place on a recently abandoned island where the secret laboratory is located. Obviously it's a secret lab. It will have the ability to be in both first person and third person, just like a Skyrim or something like that. They haven't decided whether it's going to be a part of the main series or just a spin-off game, but there's some concepts that are taking ideas from some older games, and then effectively they're going to be using a lot of hallucinations so that you won't really know what's real and what's not. And also the only other this leak also apparently included the information that although they may remake Resident Evil 3, there's not a cat in hell's chance they'll ever do 4, 5 or 6 because they still look good and there's no requirement to remake them.
Alright, nice one.
So Resident Evil 8 set on an island with a secret lab. Is that not just Dead Island?
Yeah. Sounds like it.
So I don't know about any of that.
I don't know, but I mean if they're doing it, with the quality of Resident Evil, though, because Dead Island was wasn't very good. It wasn't enjoyable. But if they're doing it with the quality and the actual
Far Cry 3 though was
standards of Resident Evil,
Far Cry 3 was on an island.
Yeah, was.
I don't know. Being trapped in a spooky house. That's what it's all about. Like, an island's way too open.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like that. I don't like any of this.
I mean, they could still do it in the same kind of style. It might not be an island in terms of like being open world like that. You might still have to go through paths and go upstairs and almost like a maze.
And of course, I'll buy it.
Yeah, of course.
You don't worry, Capcom. You've got the money, but I ain't happy about it.
Well, you said it was first person.
I think it says it could be first or third, so I'm going to guess it's going to be like a Skyrim thing where you can just press a button and like Red Dead.
Like just all Grand Theft, quite a lot of things now, yeah. Which is the way I thought Resident Evil 2 was going to be. To be honest, I thought you were going to be able to do some first person after 7. You know.
No, apparently not. And that's the news.
Nice one.
So no matter, even when it's just the two of us, and we have like, nothing really to say. Still got tons of news. We
can always discuss the news.
Goddamn, two weeks off. It's too much. Too much. Right. Well, let's get into some romance.
Yes.
Let's see what this isn't gonna be. This isn't gonna be sexy.
Not if I can help it, mate.
Oh boy, the pants. The zippers are down. The pants are off. Let's get into it. So it's Valentine's Day on Thursday.
It certainly is.
Do you have any plans?
Are
you one of these? One of these couples who's just like, we don't believe in it. It's all rubbish.
No, I mean,
or is it a one-way street? Just gifts to her, nothing backwards.
I'm pretty sure that's the way it's going to turn out. It's my birthday soon, so I'm going to be getting it back anyway. And I prefer just waiting till the 21st of March. To be honest, is when the men get it back. I don't know if you've heard that particular
I haven't heard any
celebration.
What is this?
Steak and blowjob day.
Why is it the 21st of March?
Because it's exactly a month after. Oh, sorry, not the 14th of March even. Sorry,
okay.
14th of March is Steak and Blowjob Day, and it's basically to pay back after Valentine's Day, because that was a day that's focused on the women, and it's meant to have been a payback. Obviously, it's a completely horrible sexist.
It sounds like you're supporting the patriarchy.
But you know, it's a traditional like.
I think I'm going to have to unfollow you on all social media because you make me sick and I hate you.
Unfortunately, I've never actually practiced this particular holiday. I'm just aware of it.
But you've had it practiced on you.
Like, that's not what I meant at all.
Like, oh no, it's just like every day you come in, it's just like another steak. You're like, oh no.
Oh no, not again! It's that time of year again.
My knees already hurt. So
I mean, I haven't got anything specific planned. I'm sure we'll do something, but we're not the kind of people that plan in advance this kind of thing.
Well, it's I know she's working late on Thursday, so nothing will be happening on Thursday.
No.
But we've got a thing to go back to where we got married on Sunday.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna do that.
Oh, so you've booked that in, have you?
Yeah. So that's for this coming weekend. So
lovely.
That's what we'll be doing on Valentine's Day itself. I'll be at work and she'll be at work, and then it'll probably be
I mean that's the same here. I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be doing a weekend thing.
Probably a microwave lasagna.
Yeah.
I'll be like, have this, and then she'll fall asleep halfway through, and I'll be like, wicked.
That sounds great.
Kingdom Hearts.
Get yourself a steak.
And she'll be like, the sound of the controller woke me up. It's like, god damn it, go to sleep. So not too much going on for that, but there are a lot of things going on with regards to gifts. Now I know, obviously, I think everyone kind of thinks when it comes to gifts and Valentine's Day, most of it goes, as you say, like the ladies will want earrings or the diamond necklaces and whatnots, or sometimes you'll get something different, or balloons and cards and all this stuff. But I managed to find some things that I think would definitely interest yourself with regards to some of the worst gifts you can get.
Okay, so about more like alternative Valentine's
gifts. Alternative.
Yeah.
You know, not like joke things, but things that like are in earnest, but are terrible.
Right. Okay. Fantastic.
So the first one's pretty harmless. It's called a smitten, and this is a two-handed glove, so that you put your hand in, and she puts her hand in, and you can hold hands in a glove.
Within the glove. Okay.
Now I don't know why you wouldn't want just to wear your own gloves and still hold hands
right.
if it's that cold.
Yeah. So that, I mean, obviously the focus is more the actual contact of skin on skin.
That's right, skin on skin action.
Just wear a big glove.
just
Just wear a glove that's too big for you.
Just wear a boxing glove and put both of your hands in there.
Yeah.
Done and done. So that's a smitten. Theme toilet roll.
Right.
You just put love hearts on a toilet roll.
Right, okay. That's benefiting nobody. That's absolutely benefiting nobody. So it's just going to be a big smudge of red and brown by the end of it, really.
I want you to think about this. I want you to think about the person who sat at home and was like, we need to sell more goddamn products.
Mm-hmm.
Valentine's Day is coming up. What are we going to do? Hang on. I need a shit. Let me think about it whilst I take a dump.
I'll take this red marker with us.
Wait a second. Hang on, Earl. I've got it. We're going to be millionaires.
Jesus Christ.
Fast food vouchers.
Right.
Get your significant other. Don't bring them fast food. Tell them later on in the future we'll get fast food.
While you're there, grab me something while you're there.
Mental. Fundies.
Fundies?
Now these are undies that can fit two people.
Right, okay. So similar concept to the gloves, but
except you cannot do this outside.
More genitals involved.
And it's like, in what scenario would you be like, oh, I'm really getting in the mood, let's put the fundies on, I guess we better take these off now?
It's the kind of novelty that wears off very quickly.
Yeah, but like, oh, you're sticky, get off me.
Yeah. I wish you'd showered before we did.
Why do you smell so bad? So
that is absolutely fucking ridiculous. that last one was the worst one. Just if you're going to do anything, wrap yourself in a blanket or something. You don't have to literally wear the same underpants.
Now this is something I know that would be important to you for forward thinking.
Okay.
Have you thought about getting her funeral arrangements sorted for Valentine's Day?
Not recently, no.
Because that's something that they genuinely do. Valentine's Day offers on funerals.
Okay. Jesus Christ. That is the last thing anyone should be thinking of.
Imagine if you were just like, here it is. It's in a box.
Well, it's Valentine's Day. I was thinking of our future together.
It's paperwork.
When I say future, I mean way down the line.
I'm talking about way in the future.
Bloody hell.
So there's that. You could just go maybe play it simple and buy a heart-shaped steak.
Okay. Yeah.
That's fairly.
That doesn't sound bad.
That's
at all.
not too bad, is it?
Yeah, I've seen Papa John's were doing a heart-shaped pizza as well.
What about a candy G-string?
That one's the one I've definitely heard of.
Now, I want people to think about this. I'm not talking about edible underwear, which is it's almost like that edible paper.
Yeah.
It's like all gloopy. I think I saw it on I think Jackass were doing it and something, and it was getting, and then like the pubes were getting all in their mouth and stuff like that.
Yes. Correct us if I'm wrong. I think what you're talking about is basically like the carny necklaces.
That's right. I'm talking about the carny necklaces, and my first thought is, now imagine if you put your teeth around one. And infamously, you pull on these necklaces.
Yes.
Well, what's going to happen?
Pain.
Straight back at you. This makes no sense to me.
As well as anything, I think obviously I can't speak for everybody, but there's a big section of that particular piece of underwear which is going to be inedible.
Are you talking about ass crack?
I'm talking about
ass crack candy. I mean,
I understand that there's the time and place for that kind of thing, but I'd just rather not eat any sweets that have been in anybody's arse. I
mean, what does the little Taiwanese boy who puts these things together think when he has to make this? No wonder like we're hated.
Just
in the
jealousy.
West.
There's no need to make the lads so jealous.
Jealousy. Now, speaking of jealousy, how about some flowers made out of bacon?
What?
So
who wants that in any?
So the flower heads are just bacon rolled to look like flower heads.
Right. Okay.
And then they are placed upon, stems that have had the head cut off.
Because there's nothing more romantic than bacon.
Yeah.
There's nothing more romantic than pig flesh, shaped in a certain way.
You could get similar to the candy G-string. You can get what we call brief jerky.
Right. Okay.
So it's a pair of briefs, but it's made out of jerky.
These are still Valentine's related things.
These are all Valentine's Day related.
Okay.
You can get your face moulded into chocolate.
Right. Okay.
So it looks a little bit like an Easter egg, but you look like a monster.
Yeah. I can't imagine that turning out well.
There's something called a hugogram, which is sort of like a belt that goes around your chest, and it's like two hands.
Right. Okay.
And that's it.
That sounds more like a single person's gift. A desperate single man.
That's what Just a desperate single. Just desperate for the touch of anything.
Yeah.
Even plastic.
Yeah. I think if someone got you that, it would be more of an insult than anything else.
So upsetting. And then this one's the piss de resistance. A candlelit dinner at McDonald's.
Nice. Okay. Alright. So who organises this? Is it McDonald's, official McDonald's?
I saw like legitimately I was on the internet and I saw a sign that had been put up in a McDonald's saying, if you want to book a candlelight dinner here, ring this number.
I mean, even if someone gets you that as a joke, you'd just be ashamed the entire time you were in there.
How quickly would never like you're talking about the divorce, but how quickly do you think she'd go out and get you funeral arrangements?
Actually, it's all in cahoots. It's all linked.
McDonald's now do muck funerals.
I wouldn't put it past them.
But that was kind of a thing, like looking about and seeing kind of what the the worst things you get. Obviously, like anyone who gets any of them, you are asking for a slap.
Yeah, I mean, I think
you are effectively saying, I don't love you, I have no interest in you anymore.
I think one of the worst things about it is that obviously 90% of them are meant to be like novelty or joke type things where you get a bit of a laugh out of it, but it's just not fucking funny. It's just that it's not like, it's funny to be listed, but actually to get bought those things, the novelty will wear off in about 30 seconds flat. What's
worse, to get any of them, or to go to the petrol station and be like, here's some flowers, it's Valentine's Day?
I think that the petrol station thing is a more viable option, a more valid option, because they don't know that you got it from the petrol station. Petrol station flowers are pretty high quality these days.
Perfect. The perfect answer that Morrison's and Asda want to hear.
There we go.
So that's that. And then I thought the best thing to do, obviously, is on Valentine's Day is to get together with someone. It doesn't have to be a loved one. Could be a dog.
In your snugglies or snundies or whatever.
In your fundies.
Fundies.
Get in the fundies with the dog. Yeah. Put a couple of smittens on.
A couple of smittens.
Both hands.
That's defeating the object, man.
Both hands and your feet. Get your feet wrapped around someone else's buttocks, and watch a rom-com.
Of course. Before we go into that, actually, because we're talking about like rom-com films and stuff like that. I actually, just obviously because of what we do, I thought I'll have a look at if rom-com games is a thing at all. And I had a bit of a research into it.
I googled best love stories in video games, and they were all kind of like Final Fantasy, and I was just like,
it is. It's Final Fantasy, The Witcher, and that's all the kind of stuff that came up. Like, obviously, it's not the focus of the thing, but they do make a big deal of it. The only things that I could really find which were legitimately sort of like focused on that. There's an indie game. What is it? I think it's an indie game called Gone Home. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Life. Is it Life Behind or something like that? Gone Home. I recognise the name.
Gone Home. It's basically. I got it because it was one of the games for gold, like one of the monthly games for gold things, and it looks good. It looked like it was going to be really eerie, really a little bit scary and stuff like that. It's the same kind of deal as Resident Evil 7, where it's like realistic first person. Like you open doors realistically and blah 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 and go into it. But then I found out after a while that there's nobody else in the game. You're the only character in it, and all you do is go and find clues, and it ends up being clues that somebody's left you, and it's like a love letter to you.
Yes, no, I do. Yes, I do remember this.
Which
I think it got really good reviews.
I don't know how. I mean, as much as it's like a good idea, and like I say, it's very original in terms of it's the only real romantic game that is.
I feel like that's why I got the reviews it got.
Probably what it is, just because of the originality. Apart from that, it's incredibly boring. I still finish it because it's new and original. And
what else are you gonna do on a quiet Valentine's Day alone?
Yeah. And yeah, it was only apart from that, the only one I found. I don't know if you remember. This is Leisure Suit Larry.
I was just about to say it, jokingly, Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah.
God damn.
Obviously, that's it's a different kind of romance that he's after. I don't know how the hell that was a game. How the hell was that made?
That was one of those ones that they obviously got away with, like in the 80s or early 90s.
But they were still making it. Probably about 10 years ago. It was still mainstream.
I'm sure they made one in 2008.
Yeah, it was
something
still
like that.
How are they making mainstream films and like geared towards that, like that's just mental. I find it completely
that's
crazy.
a patriarchy thing.
Yeah, I mean, because I think the reason it's never really completely found its place because obviously back in the day, like games were focused on kids, and now they're focused on adults. And Leisure Suit Larry falls in between that space somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not for adults or children.
No.
It's for really childish adults.
It falls right in the crack.
Yeah, right down a crack.
Which obviously by the jokes, obviously we are massive fans of Leisure Suit.
Absolutely. I was trying to get out without actually saying it.
So I just googled like the best rom-coms and I picked the first article that came up. This is Vanity Fair's best 25. Sorry, what the hell? Vanity Fair's the best
25 best.
Vanity Fair, the 25 best romantic comedies of all time. I don't know why I can't speak.
I'm
literally reading it. So I know you did your own little list, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done top 5, top worst.
So I'll read out this list, and then pretty much if any of yours pop up, then we'll have a quick chat about it.
Okay.
I'm gonna guess that we've probably seen a lot of these, but don't think much of them.
Yeah, okay, go on.
I don't mind a rom-com.
Yeah.
But it ain't high on my list of like, ooh, I really want to say this.
Well, can I go through my list first?
Why not?
Case? Because the point I was going to say leads on to what you were saying there. I'm not a fan of rom-coms conventionally in the slightest. Pretty much every single one, because I've got a top 5 list, top 5 best list, and a top 5 worst list. Every one on my best is a non-conventional rom-com.
Well, let's hear it.
So the number 1 straight away, Shaun of the Dead.
Oh yes,
it's a zombie rom-com.
Yep, they did market it that way.
Yeah. So I thought that would qualify just for that reason because they qualified it that way.
Naturally.
That's the least conventional because that's like you could almost say that it wasn't, but they just marketed it that way.
Yeah.
Number 2, I Love You Man, which is a bromance. I still think that qualifies. Number 3, Knocked Up.
Again, yeah, this is like the what's his name?
Seth Rogen.
No, the producer, Judd Apatow.
Oh, Judd Apatow.
This is when Judd Apatow just took over Hollywood for like 2 years.
Non-conventional rom-coms. Well, yeah, The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That's another one. That's another Judd Apatow. And finally, There's Something About Mary.
God, aye.
So that's my top 5 best ones. They're all non-conventional rom-coms, but you could all definitely class them as rom-coms.
My favourite of those 5 would be definitely be 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah, fantastic.
I just love where it's like it's a Brooklyn accent.
It's great, but funny enough, that is probably actually out of all them the most conventional rom-com.
Yeah,
it's actually the most geared towards.
Oh yeah, well, it definitely is a rom-com. It's just like a what? Well, I'm trying to think of the correct word, but it's like a dude's idea of like how to do a rom-com properly.
Yeah,
which is like all the dudes around playing Mortal Kombat and stuff like that.
But then it ends up coming full circle and there's a lot of romance involved. Really,
I think it is a very good film.
Worst, all extremely conventional rom-coms. The kind of the first kind of films you think of.
I hope that Kate Hudson's in this list. I'll be very upset.
I actually don't know.
Oh, that's so upset. What about Jennifer Aniston?
I'm sorry. No.
What? What are you talking about?
I mean, saying that she might be somewhere.
Matthew McConaughey. Is Matthew McConaughey in there?
I'll just go through the 5 and you can tell me if any of these people are because I can't remember.
That's a great film. What are you talking about?
My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Number 25 on the best 25 rom-coms. My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
There we go.
Now, I'll tell you, Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 is worse.
Right, I didn't even know it was out.
Yeah, it came on the Netflix. We were watching. Well, Stacey wanted to watch like wedding films like the month before the wedding, so we watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
I don't understand how that is. How this film is worthy of being in any top 25 list of anything. It's like watching a
top 25 films that make you want to kill yourself.
It's like watching a really corny sitcom.
Well, that's it. It's like romance, comedy. What a culture shock! The secret healing powers of Windex. That's how they've started saying how good this film is.
Windex.
Doesn't the dad? Isn't he like, oh, I've hurt my leg, and he's like Windex.
Oh right, yes, of course.
That's like an ongoing. That happens in the second one as well. Don't worry, Brett. Those jokes carry forward.
What the bloody hell? That's shocking. So anyway, next one, Bridget Jones's Diary.
Well, we all know.
I've actually written Bridget Jones's Dairy, which sounds like an infinitely better film.
I've seen all 3 of the Bridget Joneses.
Oh, yeah.
I have no doubt at least one of them's going to be on this.
Again,
this
I didn't
list.
know there was 3. I knew there was 2.
There's the one with Bridget Jones's baby.
Right, okay.
And then they couldn't get Hugh Grant back for it, so they got the guy from Grey's Anatomy, who got fired from Grey's Anatomy.
What, to play Hugh Grant's
No,
character?
just another character.
Oh, right, okay.
And then it was just like, but it was bizarre that this American just turned up and was like, she couldn't decide between Colin Firth and this new American. It's like, well, obviously Colin, because you've known him for 25 years.
because the whole problem has been between them two, and then all of a sudden...
Now that Hugh Grant's gone, you could be with Colin.
Oh, I need somebody else now. I need somebody else to choose. I can't just have one person.
These pants are really big.
Fuck off, Bridget.
Where's my fundies?
You bitch. Next one is You've Got Mail, which I was sad to put on there. And I think the reason I've put it on there, the reason I don't like it, is because it's like the only mark on Tom Hanks's resume.
Yeah.
For me, he makes classic after classic.
Yeah.
And this is it's a mundane film.
I'll have to watch it again. I'm sure he is good. I'm sure he'll be good in it.
But he wasn't enough to save it.
Yeah, but it'd still be a bad film.
Wasn't enough to save a mundane, bland script.
Name a good Meg Ryan film.
No.
All right.
I outright refuse.
Moving on.
Next one is Silver Linings Playbook.
Never saw it. Have no interest in it.
Nah, it's got nothing interesting about it. I watched the full thing. Once you know one of them films, it just feels really pointless.
It feels like they're both looking at the camera, being like, "Don't you wish you were one of us?" You're like, no.
The story doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, they're doing this now. You know, they're having a dance.
Is it like a suicide thing?
It involves that along the way. Honestly, to be honest, like I say, it just felt like they were just going from one scene to another.
Yeah.
And not like without any real necessary
it's
point.
Like how can we win an Oscar? We've got this director, this writer, and these 2 stars.
Yeah.
Oh, we've won an Oscar.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well done.
So number 1 on my list, the ultimate. Again, I probably in a lot of people's brains, the first thing they think of when someone says rom-com, and it's Love Actually. Just the epitome of corny, shy, too much going on, trying to make you cry, and bloody like.
I do know lots of people who love Love Actually, but I'm
not one of those people.
I'm not a huge fan of it. I'll endure it because I have to.
Yeah. Because
that's how marriage works. But I will never, of my own accord, watch it. And if I can get out of watching it, I certainly will.
Well, you're a better man than me, because there's absolutely no chance I'm allowing that to enter me mind stream ever again. So
let's see what the experts say. We already know that they're wrong with My Big Fat Greek Wedding being the 25th best.
Mm-hmm.
At 24, we've got Something's Gotta Give,
right,
which is Jack Nicholson.
It's Jack Nicholson. You can't really go wrong.
Then we've got Kissing Jessica Stein, which I've heard of but never seen.
Heard of.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Now this is Kate Hudson and Matthew McConaughey.
That was nearly on my list. that would have been on my list if I probably forgiven.
Don't forget, these are getting better as they go down.
No, well, they're not though, are they?
Some Kind of Wonderful, which is a John Hughes film.
Right.
Annie Hall.
Okay.
Which is a classic, but I wouldn't.
It's a classic, but it's still.
I don't feel like it's a romantic comedy though. It never ever it never pops up in my idea.
I don't think it's very good.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Yeah.
Amélie.
Mm-hmm.
The French film. Then you've got a film called The Apartment from 1960. Never heard of it. Four Winds and a Funeral.
Yeah.
Another terrible film.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really, really dislike that film.
Yeah.
And I think it's because for the first 20 years of my life I was told this is a great film. This is a great film. You should watch this film.
I think it's not a good film. It's when Hugh Grant was at his most popular, and it's got a catchy name. Apart from that, I don't think it's got anything good about it.
I'm looking at a picture of Hugh Grant and Andy McDowell in the rain, and the wettest thing in this picture is Andy McDowell. She is terrible in everything she's in.
Mm-hmm.
Fight me. Come at me, Andy McDowell. Moonstruck, which I think has Cher in it, if I remember correctly.
All right.
Number 14, The 40-Year-Old Virgin.
First actual good film so far.
Number 13, Down with Love, which is a musical with Renée Zellweger and Ewan McGregor.
Right.
Never seen it.
Okay.
His Girl Friday, which is from 1940. Never heard of it.
Mm.
My Best Friend's Wedding, Julia Roberts.
Oh yeah.
So that's another one that I think that I've seen. Sleepless in Seattle, Tom Hanks.
Another Tom Hanks
Tom
Which
Hanks, is that?
I think it's still got more to it than.
And Meg Ryan.
Yeah, but well, that's what You've Got Mail was trying to rekindle that
That's
chemistry.
I
still think it's got
is
more.
Is it a secret sequel?
No. It's one of those things where it's like you've got two people. Like I think Adam Sandler and what's her name? What's her name?
Adam Sandler. What?
Charlie's Angels.
Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. They've been in like 3 films together because they feel like they've got some kind of chemistry. Which isn't necessarily
I'm happy for
true.
them. I'm happy for them.
More than happy.
Good for them. Number 9, broadcast news. Number 8, it happened in one night. Number 7, Notting Hill.
Notting Hill I didn't actually think was that bad, to be honest.
Number 6, Groundhog Day. Andy McDowell's back.
Okay, nice
shitting all over the place, all over the screen. Number 5. Oh, someone a knock at the door.
Somebody at the door.
Before we were rudely interrupted by a package being delivered at the door. 10 Things I Hate About You is the 5th best one. I do enjoy that.
I thought that was already on.
Nah.
That was How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Yeah, okay.
10 Things I Hate About You. I do enjoy that. I think that's a good little film.
Okay.
Oh, number 4, Bridget Jones' Diary, the first one.
Oh, hey.
Number 3, Clueless.
Okay.
Clueless, a story about a woman trying to get with her stepbrother, I believe.
Because obviously I was looking through rom-coms and that did seem to come up in some lists.
You're an idiot because number 2, the second greatest romantic comedy that's ever happened in the world ever, You've Got Mail.
Really? Okay. I bet I can tell you the first one.
Oh, go for it.
When Harry Met Sally.
Goddamn right it is.
Yeah.
When Harry Met Sally.
What's good about that bloody film? Nothing, man. Just because but he pretended to cream my pants in the middle of the cafe.
Oh, no.
because of that scene, and then the other one when he does a speech about why he loves her or something.
The romance is back in with cream in your pants.
Pretending to.
Right, and then let's quickly let's wrap this episode up with, of course, the worst romantic comedies that I could find. This list comes from Refinery29. Never heard of them, but God bless them for this.
Okay.
So here we go. She's All That, which is a Freddie Prinze Jr. film where effectively I think he tries to he takes a nerd and turns her into someone pretty.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that.
And then has a go at her, I think.
I'm pretty sure I've seen that, and I'm pretty sure it was better than anything, like majority of the things on that best list.
Well, Freddie Prinze Jr. better get himself ready because he's in it again, number 2, with Down to You, in which Freddie Prinze Jr. attempts suicide by drinking shampoo.
Okay.
After breaking up with a boring Imogen, played by Julia Stiles.
It's probably the worst way you can do it, but okay.
Bounce, starring Ben Affleck and Gwyneth Paltrow.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Kate and Leopold, which is
Kate and Leopold. Yeah, I have.
It's Meg Ryan again.
Meg Ryan and Hugh Jackman.
It looks like Hugh Jackman, but
and Hugh Jackman has somehow travelled forward in time.
Yeah, from 1876.
Yeah.
What a load of crap.
It was a load of crap, that one. It was absolutely terrible. The only part I remember about it was he tried to make some toast. And it burnt. And he talked to her.
He tried to make some toast?
He tried to make some toast, it burnt, and then he talked to Kate about how back in the 1800s he would have the finest toasted French brioche. And how things are different, and now people.
This is upsetting me just as much as this.
And that was somehow made
talking
into like
about toast.
That was somehow made into like a sensual kind
and
of.
Then she was
scene.
like, "Fuck me now."
I love brioche. Love toast.
Next one is a Jennifer Aniston film. She's finally here. Rumor has it, which is a film which I have seen, which is about a woman who believes that her grandmother was the true story behind The Graduate.
Okay.
And she thinks that then she meets this person and she's like, "Oh, I'm dating this man who's older than me." And then the grandma's like, "I used to date him," and then she was like, "Oh no, this man might be my dad."
That's so random.
So it's a proper weird incesty story.
Right. Okay.
And then spoilers, I don't care. But then 75% of the way through, they're like, "No, he's definitely not your dad."
Yeah.
And they're like, "All right, okay," and then it ends. The 75% of the way through, they make the big reveal that he's definitely not the dad, and then the film continues for another half an hour and then stops.
Great.
Load of crap.
You mentioned that one as well before that, the Jennifer Aniston film.
Mm-hmm.
It's just funny enough that you mentioned that, just because Jennifer Aniston, even though she is on a lot of rom-coms, doesn't make very many bad films. She actually does seem to have
probably,
a lot of good
not.
films. What's that one she did with
Gerard Butler?
No,
that one's terrible.
Is it? Right, okay. That's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one with what's it called? Ben Stiller.
Oh God, yeah. With a ferret.
With a ferret, and with
what is that called?
Oh man, he has his mate who plays the basketball, and it's
That's a super weird film.
It's great though. I think that's really funny.
Really weird film. Hang on, well, let's research and find out what that's called.
Along Came Polly.
That's what it was.
And the best thing about that film, obviously, Ben Stiller and Jennifer Aniston are pretty good, but Philip Seymour Hoffman as his mate who plays basketball is absolutely hilarious. And he's like trying to do.
Yes, I do remember
trying to dunk and stuff, and he's just like white chocolate, and then just falls over.
And he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm patting down the grease off the pizza. It's like, that's why we come here, for a greasy pizza. Well, I don't like the grease.
He just like shouts white and then misses every single time.
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
But that is a super. You know what I think think that film is so weird is because I've seen like 40 minutes here and 20 minutes here and 30 minutes here of that film over like the last 10 years.
Yes,
I've never actually like it's Along Came Polly on, let me watch it. I'm like, I've seen this film. It's like I've only seen about a third of it.
Well, that's why I think it's quite good. I mean, a lot of rom-coms and stuff like that, they're too bland for you to pick stuff out of it and say, oh, this is a good bit.
It is super
but it's actually
weird.
a film with good bits in it.
Monster-in-Law, where Jane Fonda is Jennifer Lopez's monster-in-law.
Yes, of course.
More crap. Here's your Failure to Launch, which is Matthew McConaughey and Sarah Jessica Parker, which I think is a story, if I remember correctly, about trying to convince Matthew McConaughey to move out of his parents' house because his ex-wife died.
Right, okay.
And she's like, you should grow up. So again, Good Luck Chuck, which stars Dane Cook, which is all you need to know.
Yeah, that's all that I am, yeah.
Maid of Honor, which is our friend Patrick Dempsey back from Bridget Jones's Baby.
Oh, yes.
In which he is in love with a woman, but he's been in the friend zone for like 25 years, and then like leaves it until she's about to get married to be like, yeah, but I was like with you.
Fantastic.
What Happens in Vegas? Ashton Kutcher, Cameron Diaz.
That one actually had some funny bits in it, man.
Ashton Kutcher feels like he's having a midlife crisis at 40.
Yeah. Because he started early, to be fair.
Did you hear about the Morgans? This is Sarah Jessica Parker. Notice how the same names keep coming up?
Oh, yeah.
And Hugh Grant.
Of course.
Which is probably just Notting Hill, but in like Texas or whatever.
Yeah.
Bride Wars, which is Anne Hathaway and Kate Hudson as best friends who fight over the same date for the wedding.
I'm surprised it's the first appearance of Anne Hathaway, though, to be fair.
Well, I don't think she does a lot of. She did loads of like kids films, like Ella Enchanted.
Still a lot of rom-coms in that as well. Love and Other Drugs.
Well, hold on to your pantaloons, because next up it's The Ugly Truth.
Yeah.
Where effectively, Katherine Heigl, who was sacked off of Grey's Anatomy, a lot of people getting sacked off Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah.
She is hopelessly single, and then Mike comes along, played by Gerard Butler, and he's like, "Women need to be treated like trash. That's what they want." And she's like, "No, I don't." So he treats her like trash, and then they fall in love.
Right, nice.
The message of that film is deeply, deeply upsetting. Now here comes The Rebound, in which Catherine Zeta-Jones decides to get divorced and go out with a man 15 years younger than her.
Oh yes, of course. And that man is...
it's the guy, Justin Bartha, who is the guy who constantly goes missing in The Hangover. That's his major thing.
That's the main thing he's known for.
He's the guy who isn't in The Hangover.
He's the one who always gets cut out of The Hangover because he's probably not that good.
Now you got Confessions of a Shopaholic. Now Stacey's read all of the books for Confessions of a Shopaholic and hates this film.
Well, I mean, because it is a very popular series of books, but for it to go into one of the worst rom-com category, it must be pretty bad.
Now here comes our good friend Matthew McConaughey, this time with brown hair. Him and Jennifer Garner are in Ghosts of Girlfriends Past.
Well, hey,
Scrooge with Girlfriends.
Nice one.
Then you've got All About Steve. Now this is a really interesting one. So this is Sandra Bullock plays a weather person, I think.
Okay.
And she's like touring around with like a cameraman and stuff like that. And then she decides to go after another news reporter called Steve, played by Bradley Cooper.
Who this is all about.
Yeah, exactly. But she plays a character who I believe is meant to be mentally challenged.
Right. She does.
Yeah.
So it's a film called All About Steve.
And she plays a character who's obsessed with Steve. And Steve's played by Bradley Cooper. And Thomas Hayden Church is like the cameraman. Ken Jeong's in it.
Right.
But then she plays, I think, someone with some sort of mental disability.
Right, okay.
Because I remember listening to another podcast where they talked about it. And some guy was like, "Oh yeah, I worked on that film. Like I was on the set for a day." And Sandra Bullock would be like, "I think my character would walk through this crowd of people and bump into every single one and like fall over each time."
What?
So they were going out of their way to make it seem like this character was like impaired.
Right. Okay. Without actually speaking that. Without actually
saying, "Oh, there's something wrong with her." They would act like she was a total idiot.
Suggest it without actually saying
to the point where it's like, if you were this stupid and you were playing it for realism, you would be challenged.
Right. Okay.
Very, very, very disturbing.
Should maybe like take some lessons from Tropic Thunder.
But this was also, I think this was the same year that she got the Oscar for The Blind Side.
Right. Okay.
So she did this. I think she did this first and then got the Oscar.
Got an Oscar. Jesus.
So very, very upsetting.
Well, it obviously turned out all right for them.
Well, don't worry. Vince Vaughn's finally turned up with Couples Retreat.
Oh yes,
That's Vince Vaughn and Justin Favreau and all of those guys.
Yeah.
Their little crew. Then you've got the
Justin Favreau, is it?
Is it
John Favreau?
John Favreau, sorry. Then you've got The Switch, which is Jason Bateman and Jennifer Aniston.
Which is not a bad film at all. I don't think
that one's bad.
Yeah.
I think the little kid in that's really funny.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what type of chondria? And it's like, which way you think you've got loads of like illnesses? And he's like, I've got that. Then you've got The Killers with Katherine Heigl again and Ashton Kutcher again.
Well, hey.
This is another one of those classic, like, he's the love of my life, and I could never get a man, despite the fact that I'm a Hollywood actress and I'm in my prime age and I've got how much millions of plastic surgery and all these clothes, but I'll never get a man. And the only man I can find is Ashton Kutcher, who's playing like I think he's a bounty hunter or something, or a contract killer.
I've never heard of this one.
Load of crap. Leap Year. This is Amy Adams. Amy Adams, Oscar winner, or at least Oscar nominee Amy Adams, who goes to Dublin with her boyfriend to propose, because of course girls propose on a leap year. That's what girls want, to be empowered.
for like a day out of every 4 years.
Next one is When in Rome with Josh Duhamel and Kristen Bell. Never heard of that one. The Backup Plan. Now this one I do know about. This is Jennifer Lopez again.
Jennifer Lopez?
Yes. Saying, obviously, how's Jennifer Lopez going to get a man? She's got no chance.
Probably, again, at one point, one of the sexiest women in the world.
Stupid ass bag. So she decides, listen, I've got no chance with any men. I'm just going to get, artificially inseminated. I'm going to raise this baby myself.
Right.
But of course, she just happens to meet the man of her dreams.
Okay.
The same day.
Okay, no, continue.
And he is I believe, a cheese farmer.
Right.
And they have sex on a cheese.
It doesn't end up being the same man who she got the sperm off.
No.
Right. Okay.
They have coitus on a cheese.
On a cheese.
On a giant wheel of cheese.
That sounds like it smells horrible.
And then, if I remember correctly, as the story goes on, they just argue about like. Eventually, she throws it in his face that you're not the real dad.
Right.
I got artificially inseminated, and of course, for love to reign over, he either is like, "That's fine, this baby's mine anyway." Or they reveal that actually he is the dad. The artificial insemination didn't work.
Yeah, that might be it. And if it is, that's the most far-fetched thing I've ever heard.
Next, we've got something called Something Borrowed. I feel like I've seen this film, but do not remember it at all.
It's probably one of those generic rom-coms that just like you think you might have seen. A lot of them even got the same logos. I've noticed. They've got like red and white lettering logo.
And you always see like the man like stood up straight, being like, "Oh, that woman of mine," and then she's like leant over and being like, "Oh,
those are the things you do for love.
Why won't you marry me?" because you're a psychopath. That's why. So this one again stars Kate Hudson and Jennifer Goodwin, and that's all I know about it.
Where's the man?
I don't know. Oh, hang on. Apparently, we're supposed to root for Rachel, played by Jennifer Goodwin, to steal Darcy's man. Darcy's played by Kate Hudson, but there's no action. Doesn't tell us who the male character is.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
This one, I have no idea what this is. It's called A Little Bit of Heaven. It doesn't tell me who it stars, but it looks a little bit like Gael Garcia Bernal. And it says here that Whoopi Goldberg plays God in it.
What's it called?
A Little Bit of Heaven.
I think I've heard of that actually.
Is that the one where like his wife dies and then he like gets her to come back?
I don't know.
Oh no, there is a film that might be on here, but there's like his wife dies. Oh no, it's Eva Longoria. She dies and then he moves on, gets another wife, and then she comes back from the dead like as a ghost and is like, "Hey, you can't fuck her. I'm right here." Which in itself sounds like a good idea for a film, but I'm sure is terrible.
Yeah.
This or New Year's Eve, you know those films where like it's got like 30 different actors.
Yeah,
with,
like
10
Love
minute
Actually.
films. Yeah. So New Year's Eve, I don't even know. Oh god, Just Go With It.
Oh yeah.
We've discussed Just Go With It before. This is the film that I've got the closest to walking out of and being like, this is unacceptable. I want a refund. Adam Sandler is Adam Sandler at his absolute worst at like Grown Ups 4 bad, not even Grown Ups 2.
Is this Drew Barrymore as well?
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, Jennifer Aniston.
And Brooklyn Decker, who was a model who obviously made friends with someone who were like, "We're gonna make you a star." Oh, you can't act. Oh, sorry about that. Let's get back to the modelling then.
Is this the one with that one good like scene in it though?
There's a scene with a guy who's like one of Adam Sandler's usual collaborators who plays a German guy.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
The scene I'm talking about is when they're walking along in slow motion and the kid throws the drink at his mother and it's in slow motion and it wasn't meant to happen. These were two extras which were on the film. Mm-hmm. The kid acts up and throws a drink in his mum's face and it just happened to be when they were filming a slow motion part of the film and they left it in, and I watched it and it is absolutely hilarious, but it's the only good part of the film. I don't
remember that bit. It could very well be.
I'm gonna fact check that to make sure it's the right one, but I'm sure it was Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler. I don't think any other films. So
I'm sure. Yeah, I can't remember if this is the one, but there's a film with Adam Sandler where like Dennis Quaid plays his dad.
Yeah. And
then he's then there's like, and then I'm sure it's Brooklyn Decker, and she's like, "Oh, it's just like obviously she's like 20 odd, and he's like, I'm gonna be your stepmom." And Adam Sandler's like, "What?"
So, I mean, this is only a 30-second clip. I'm pretty sure I can play this to you, can't I? Mm-hmm. So apparently this was not meant to happen. And everyone's reactions to this is real.
Is she pregnant?
Yep. So like Adam Sandler's reaction, Jennifer Aniston's is like real reactions. And he's laughing his head off.
Why wasn't it a closed set?
Well, there were extras that were meant to be in the background.
So what were they supposed to be doing?
Just, I suppose, just being there, just being in the car park and with his drink, and he's just acted up, and she's ran after him.
God.
And he's rebelling.
That is genius, though.
And that
it must be that.
It was all that kind of thing. That would be funny, and it makes us think that it is actually unscripted because the rest of the film is so bad.
Oh yeah, it's gotta be. It's gotta be. Yeah, this kid was like, I saw the dailies. This film sucks. I'm gonna be the star of this thing.
I'm gonna do something about this.
And this is the last three, I think. This Means War. Tom Hardy trying out a comedy, and failing miserably.
Yeah. It's not trying out a comedy. He's trying out a romantic comedy. Is the thing.
Yes,
I'm sure he could do a comedy.
Yes, a romantic comedy. He is funny. He's just not funny in this.
Yeah.
Baggage Claim, which I've never heard about. It stars Paula Patton, who's obviously most famous now for being cheated on by Robin Thicke. Which is disgraceful, really. That's what she's most famous for now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think she was in Mission Impossible 4, and then I think that thing happened with Robin Thicke, and then they were like, "Oh well, you're not a star anymore."
Yeah.
Robin's a star. You're not. I'm guessing because it's called Baggage Claim, it's going to be about an air hostess. Yeah. But I will refuse to go any further into it. And then the last one is a film that everyone will have heard of but probably haven't seen, Aloha, which is the Bradley Cooper film where Emma Stone plays an Asian person.
Right.
Where the joke is she's playing an Asian person and it's based on a true story, and this Asian person doesn't look Asian.
Right.
She looks for argument's sake, white.
So does everyone kind of
So they cast a white person to play an Asian, and the joke is, in real life, she doesn't look Asian.
And everyone's surprised that she's
and
Asian.
everyone was like, you should have had Lucy Liu play that role. It's like, that's more racist because you've stereotyped.
Yeah.
But people don't want to hear that shit.
I suppose it is. Like, the whole point is that she's not supposed to look Asian.
That's the joke. That's the entire joke.
Yeah.
But everyone was offended by it, to the point where even Emma Stone was like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
But obviously they called it whitewashing.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh, Christ.
It's just like
surely there's other Asian people in the film.
Well, it's set on the island of Hawaii.
Right. Yes.
So I think there'll be probably I forget there's a special term for people who live in Hawaii. Not Hawaiian, like obviously they're Hawaiian, but there is another word for like their like whatever their version of Native American.
Yeah, of course.
But that's it. That's I think that's wrong. I think it's fair to say now that if you're listening at home, you're in the mood right now, aren't you? So we best get out of here.
Yeah, don't write in and tell what you're doing right now.
I don't want to. No, please, no pictures. I beg.
We just provide. We don't want to. We don't want to be involved.
So our dulcet, sultry tones have got you right. Right in the mood.
So how many films were on that worst list?
30 worst, 25 best.
25 best. Do you not agree that the quality of the films did not change very much between the best and the worst?
No. Between the best and the worst, they contained some of the same actors. I
was actually very, very surprised that didn't actually the two lists didn't contain some of the same films.
Yeah.
Because that it's very, very opinion based. That like what I noticed was when I was looking at the best rom-coms myself is that a lot of them had really, really bad ratings. Even though like some of the best, like what they're saying is the best rom-com films ever, have like 20 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So I'm really surprised that it didn't overlap.
I think there's a lot of I think a lot of rom-coms are considered successful even if they get like 2.5 stars or 2 like, because Rotten Tomatoes is based off of, you have to give at least 60% for it to be good. So it's 6 out of 10 or 3 out of 5 and stuff. But I think a lot of rom-coms do get like 2.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
And they're like, is it the worst rom-com ever made? No.
Which means it's one of the best.
Yeah. Whereas the constant like, it's the equivalent of being like, well, it's not as good as Taken, but it stars Liam Neeson and it's an action film.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, I guess I'll see it then? Question mark. And you know what? I think I'm actually quite glad that we didn't record last Thursday like we were trying to, because obviously we were right last Thursday. We were right in the middle. This is hot off the press, a week old, but
hot being the
because
operative word.
Yeah, because the film was called Cold Pursuit. But obviously Liam Neeson said what he said about wanting to be racist for a week or whatever it was. That's how I would break it down. That effectively he was racist for a week and then he realised the error of his ways. Yeah, and met a priest and was like, I think I'm going crazy. And he was like, yeah, you are. Let's get you fixed. And now we're fine.
Let's get you fixed, you mad bastard.
Yeah, and then a couple of Guinness cans sort out. But obviously that whole thing was like, oh, we should cut his legs off and set him on fire.
Yeah. Like
the people were, and it's now, let me count, 90 hours later, no one gives a shit.
Yeah. No. That's
scary.
That's Hollywood though, isn't it?
That's like, you could get murdered over something that people were furious about. The only reason it lasted the 3 days that it did was because he kept talking about it.
Yeah. And then as soon as he stops talking about it, everyone else does as well.
As soon as someone was like,
that speaks to the minds of people these days. That actual like, it's like everyone like goldfish these days.
Oh yeah,
social media.
And it's like there's no like, it's like, it is crazy like Mel Gibson said those things and had those feelings now.
Yeah.
And we welcomed him back with open arms.
Yeah.
We were like, Mel, where have you been?
I will never understand that.
We were like, Mel, you were working 2 years ago. You've been on holiday. You look tanned. You look good. Like, they weren't like, hey, fuckhead, what are you doing back here? You're not allowed in here.
Anti-Semitic, fucking horrible, racist, sexist prick.
They were just like, oh, you look good. Did you be in the gym? You look good. I'm gonna kiss you now, Mel. But Liam Neeson, they were like one of our most respected actors, and they were like, respect, Schindler's List and all this stuff, and all the films he made when he was younger, well respected, still a well respected guy. People genuinely do like him. He's a likable guy. he says this one thing, which is a true story.
Yeah.
Which
He was saying like for a point. He wasn't saying it just to.
Of course, he wasn't being like, guess who I hate.
He wasn't showing off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Guess how many people I've killed in real life. I had a week and I went nuts.
He was saying like, basically he made a huge, terrible mistake which he didn't actually even act upon.
Exactly.
And he learned from it.
He effectively, yes, he went out looking for a fight, but in reality, if he hadn't said that, if he just said, "Oh, I had evil, dark thoughts for a week,"
yeah, probably wouldn't have went any further.
And they're always like, you know,
I think his mistake was using the particular words, the phrase that he used.
Yeah. But the problem is also that I found is that I was watching, because of course, as we all know, watching other people talk about it is way more interesting than actually watching what he said. Because I was watching things like the American version of Loose Women, and they were saying like things like, "Oh, you know, some random black man could have lost their life because of Liam Neeson." It's like, I'm really sorry. Is there not black on black crime all day, every day, in every country that, or like, you know, you always hear about like the Middle East. They're always killing each other. You know, you only hear about it when it's a terrorist attack in a in a Western country. But those countries are shooting and killing each other all day, every day. Everyone's constantly fighting. So why have we got to pick on Liam Neeson?
The thing is that the priorities are all wrong, and it depends on the way that the media spins it. And if you think back to, I mean, you know, like what you said is even more true. But if you are going to make it specifically about celebrities and the horrible things that celebrities do, what was the Kardashian, the father who the transsexual, what's her name again?
Is it Caitlyn?
Yes, Caitlyn Jenner.
Yes.
Caitlyn Jenner. Around about the time when she decided to obviously have a sex change and everything, and she was getting a lot of plaudits for coming out and her bravery for doing it. I think it was like a couple of days before she actually had the sex change, she killed someone with a car.
That's right. I think it was literally just before everything was 100% finished.
Yeah, she actually killed someone with a car. She did that. She didn't apologise for it even.
And I think she went to court and got like a fine.
Yeah, she got a fine, and nobody actually mentioned ever again. Everyone moved on to the fact that she was a massive hero.
Yeah.
And doing the thing. I completely agree that, you know, she was brave for doing that. It does take a lot of guts, but you can't forget about somebody killing somebody for that reason.
Of course not.
That's what just makes me think the attention span and the priorities of the media and, you know, of social media is just absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I mean, if you've got a bone on it, and it's now gone. Apologies for that.
And if you still have, then shame on you.
Yeah, but plaudits to us for still using she with Caitlyn Jenner. I think, you know, that's a common misconception. I think that people just immediately go back to saying like, oh, hey.
Well, I've seen the Ricky Gervais sort of his routine where he was basically refusing to call her a she. And you know, I can understand that in a comedy routine, but in day-to-day life, I don't think there's any reason to not call her a she. It doesn't take anything out of me.
And my favourite line ever about Caitlyn Jenner, which is obviously slightly offensive, but where Dave Chappelle goes, good on her for doing all of that stuff. She's a huge influence, you know, a great person for trans people, but not a very good person for women.
Right.
Especially women drivers.
Or probably people. Yeah.
That was the joke that he made. And I was just like,
absolutely.
So I was just like, that's the kind of the level that we should be at. We should be like, yes, whatever you want to be is absolutely fine, but you can't be going around killing people.
Here's the thing, though, and this is just something that I've been told, but by a source that I trust.
Dave.
No, I said a source that I trust. It's that Caitlyn Jenner has now decided to go back to being a man. As she's bored of being a woman.
I'm gonna cut that out.
She's bored of being a woman and wants to go back to being a man. This annoyed me as well.
Now I'm gonna
takes all the plaudits and the hero and you know.
Now I'm definitely gonna call the title of this episode. she's bored of being a woman.
She's decided to go back.
That's not true.
I've heard it's true.
Can they even do that though?
I haven't searched for it, so I haven't thinking. But somebody told us this who knows about this kind of stuff.
I like the idea that Joanne's like, why have you been searching change from a woman and back to a man? I'm going, what do you mean? Just, you know, I'm just interested.
It's Valentine's Day.
I don't know. I don't believe that. But hey, I've heard of crazier things.
Well, yeah, I think Caitlyn Jenner is one of those crazier things.
No, I'm going to have to cut that bit out. Well, that's that for this week. I don't know if we're gonna get together next week because I don't know what's happening with the European stuff. It might just be the two of us again.
It turned out quite long as well. Anyway,
It always
this might
turns
be
out
a
quite
two.
long. I feel like, do you know what it is? I think we prepare. It's almost like we prepare too much.
Yeah.
I think I should just come up with a couple ideas.
We did not prepare at all for this.
Well, I've got a lot of stuff.
I put together a list of films that took us about half an hour earlier today.
And then we spent an hour just picking apart 60 films.
Yeah, we don't really do any preparation for this at all.
We just got so much to say.
That must be it.
And it's all important.
Yeah, absolutely. Very important.
Very, very important. Right, so that'll be that then. Very long episode, but we cannot seem to get the episodes less than 2 hours.
Yeah. We can't really even put this into two either. We can't have two.
You can't be like, hey,
Valentine's
are you in the mood for Valentine's Day on the 23rd? Oh yeah. But yeah, obviously because it's your birthday next week and all that stuff, so we might end up doing an episode or not. We don't know. We might do a Brett birthday special.
That would be lovely. I mean, it would be better if it was a surprise one, but
What's this now? I've got a quiz about you. It's like, well, he's going to get all the questions. God damn it.
Well, you've got to ask Dave, I'm sure.
Dave, what's Brett's favourite number? Like, what?
Do you even know this?
How would I... 12? Well, we'll call it there, and maybe we'll see you next week.
Cheers, love you.
Oh, God.